shareholding, which you don't want. It means that that investment, which is not bringing any return, is still, we're spending more money on it, still no return is coming.
The Honourable Chair, there is also the option of considering preference shares, so we will look at that classification. Honourable.
No, but even if you preference share, if it doesn't make the return, what kind of preference is that? You must make profit before you talk about preference.
The preference means that you'll be preferred before the ordinary.
Honourable Chair, I think you are right, but then that is between equity and loan, because whereas in loan you expect to get interest. In the case of preference share, like you rightly said, when profits are made, you are the first person that you are looked at, and in order not to also anticipate interest income when indeed we know very well that that would be very difficult to do, that is why we think that the best way to go is to treat it as a preference share.
So for the Ogua one, it means that if you treat it as equity, you are going to your shareholding position will change.
Honourable Chairman, yes.
And for Ogua, you are holding 94.43%, so it will go up.
Honourable Chairman, that's correct.
SNIT. $18.81. Okay, so we'll go to 1884. Honorable Sam George.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, from your deep sigh of exasperation to even more frustration on the need to protect 49.5 million Ghana cedis worth of investment made by SNIT in Intercity STC. Can you tell us what the situation is right now with this 80% shareholding you have in Intercity STC and 49.5 million Ghana cedis of pension funds that have been locked up in this company?
Deputy Director General.
Honourable Chairman, I just want to put this again into some context in terms of when the loans were disbursed. In fact, they were in 3 tranches: January 2010, May 2012, and December 2012. That's the background to it. In terms of the yes, and the loan amounts were due to be paid in 2014, 2015, and 2016. That's the context of the loan, and we've run beyond that and into a period for Intercity STC where their performance has been quite difficult. So the honest answer to your question is that it's going to be at the moment difficult to retrieve this amount. The situation we face with Intercity STC is that the company has loans. There's the period of COVID, which hit them and hit their main sources of income, the international routes that significantly affected their income. Remember, again, their pricing is, Honourable Chairman, is also regulated somewhat, so they are not free to adjust pricing as others are. And then we then come to the situation about the subordination of our debt to debts that is owed to the government for supply of buses and also to the ADB of supply of buses. So there, what we are doing is that we are in discussions with the management to come up with a payment plan on our debt. That is where we are at the moment. But in the current difficult performance and putting the loan into context, it's going to be immediately difficult to come up with it. But we are in discussions with the company so that they can also prioritize us when they are making the payments. So, Honorable Chairman.
DG, it's good you gave the context and waxed lyrical on the dates when the loans were contracted and when they were due. But in your response as well, the 49.5 million Ghana cedis is exclusive of the $17.5 million loan that you just made reference to for the acquisition of 100 buses. That's different.
It is, but we haven't made a loan to them. That was ADB. And if I may...
No, but DG, if you guarantee a loan
Honorable,
as an 80% shareholder...
We haven't guaranteed a loan, please. I think that is an error. We haven't.
So are you challenging the Auditor General's report?
Yes, I am.
Because this is what and let me read from paragraph 18,1884, in fact, 1,185C. SNIT again guaranteed Intercity State Transport Company, ISTC, to take a loan of $17.5 million from ADB Bank to procure 100 buses to augment their fleet. The implication of the guarantee is that in the event of ISTC's default in payment of the loan, SNIT be called upon to pay. Are you challenging the Auditor General's report?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm DG, so I am responding now. I am challenging that and saying that we have not signed any guarantee to guarantee the facility that was taken by ADB. In fact,
by STC from ADB.
STC from ADB. In fact, when that facility was entered into, ISTC came to SNIT to give a loan, and we declined. The SNIT board declined because there are outstanding loans that hasn't been paid. So it wouldn't have been prudent to go and extend a further loan. So they got the ministry to help them to get the loan from ADB. And part of what we had to do was to give a no objection. So we are not, there is no guarantee document that SNIT had signed to guarantee that loan. And the auditors can produce that document if such exists, that SNIT has guaranteed it.
Auditors, can you clarify for us, because this is a critical and strong reservation, or not peanuts. $17.5 million is a lot of money, and your observation is being challenged. What will the auditor say to this?
Honorable Chair, in fact, our procedure of auditing is that after an observation is raised, it's being given to the auditee for you to respond. Afterwards, based on your report or based on your responses, before a report, management letter is issued, and you have 30 days to answer. All these processes went on without they disputing this fact. So I'm surprised here that they are disputing it. Thank you.
But auditors, there must have been a basis for you to, there was something you must have seen during the audit that would have made you arrive at the conclusion that SNIT guaranteed that facility. So yes, we understand what the processes are, and the responsibility is on SNIT to challenge any findings that you had made within the time frame. They shouldn't be challenging that here. But from your end, we want to know what you saw during the audit that made you arrive at that conclusion that SNIT, in fact, did guarantee $17.5 million from the ADB for ISTC.
Honorable Chair, please, we don't have the document here, so I'll plead with the House to make the document available. Thank you.
Very well. I will make that request to chairman. Chairman will pass a final ruling on what the issue would be, reference that 17.5 million, because I was going to ask DG and your team that as managers of pension funds, and DG, respectfully, looking at everybody from SNIT in there, you are all quarter to pension. None of you there is less than 10 years away from your pensions. And would you be comfortable, if you weren't sitting as managers of the pension funds, to have continued investing pension funds in such a manner? Because if a company was owing 14.5 million Ghana cedis, and from what I heard you say, Mr. Osafomafo, that basically this is literally bad debt because they are unable to meet their obligations. They've not paid any dividends to you, but you're an 80% shareholder. It then means that that's bad debt. I wouldn't understand how you could then go ahead to give guarantee again for another $17.5 million of pension funds. But has ADB, let me just ask, has ADB made any requests to SNIT on this $17.5 million in terms or in respect of servicing the facility? Because again, the auditors say that SNIT is not servicing that facility as at yet. And so has ADB triggered any guarantee clauses or the no objection with SNIT in respect of this 17.5 million?
Mr. Chairman, the answer is no. Not that I am aware of as DG. So no such request has come to me from ADB. But Mr. Chairman, if you permit me, I'd like to make a comment that yes, we are all quarter to pension. Some of us are even closer than quarter to pension. Mr. Chairman, I must say that I take this job very seriously. Even though I am now on management, the decisions that we take under my tenure, certainly, is guided by what is the long-term interest of the pensioner. And that is why when ISTC came to us to extend a further loan, rather than then going to a commercial entity to get a loan, we flatly declined it at the SNIT board level. Management recommended that the loan request be declined, and so it was declined. So, and that is why I'm so confident to say that we have not signed any guarantee for this facility. What we were asked to do subsequently was to give our no objection to them to go ahead and get a commercial entity to extend the loan. Mr. Chairman, I think that's what the record will reflect.
But again, Chairman, just so that we go back to the report, paragraph 1890, and this for me is important because of the response the Auditor General's reps here have given, detailing what the processes are. In 1890, management actually did a response to the issues. So it's not as though these issues were on your blind side and you didn't respond. You actually responded and said that you were working on the draft accounts of ISTC with external auditors, and that once those were completed, you would hold an AGM to approve same. Then you proceeded to say that the company is going through, that's STC, is going through a restructuring, and so a successful turnaround is based on the facility to acquire the 100 buses, which will then make it profitable, and that you've even gone ahead to have the company start 4 terminals with the DVLA at their yard. So clearly you responded to this issue. Why in your response did you not mention the fact that when the auditors had clearly said you guaranteed the facility, distance yourself and say we did not, but you actually gave a roadmap to the profitability of the company, only to appear here and then say that you didn't give a guarantee? You didn't challenge that at the time.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think there are 2 issues being mixed here. The first one, I think the commentary that you've just read in respect of road to profitability would relate to the 49 odd million Ghana cedi loan that is outstanding and how it is going to be paid. Because that is our interest. Our interest is to make sure that what we've already advanced gets paid. Now, if the company has a roadmap to profitability that would allow for the payment of our outstanding facility, then that is what we are commenting on. But at that time, we said that we are not willing to increase our indebtedness by extending another facility. Mr. Chairman, I must say that in the narrative of this, the final report that comes from the Auditor General, sometimes the wording, we don't see the final wording that comes out until the report is issued. So sometimes even in some of this, the report, you will see that there are errors. In fact, even if you look into our audited the accounts that they brought in the first part of the report, the paragraph...
DG, it's fine. Chairman, I would just want to make an application that $17.5 million is not a small money, and ADB2 is not a roadside bank. The auditors say they would look through the documents. I want to make an appeal to the committee and through chair that we further interrogate this matter, because ADB will not issue a $17.5 million loan without any guarantee of any sort. So we would need to check from ADB what guarantees and which entities gave them a guarantee before they advanced the 17.5 million. I think that will be the way for us to get to the bottom of this and determine whether SNIT indeed gave a guarantee, or on what basis did they give advance the facility to STC. So, Chairman, that will be my appeal, so that we get to the bottom of this $17.5 million US. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's fair. But on a lighter note, I just want my colleague to know that on matters of pension, you don't need to be close there before you begin to think about that. On your first day of appointment, you should start thinking about your pension.
All right.
Oh, sure, I'm thinking of it, but you are closer to getting benefits than I am.
So what I've gotten so far from this report is that apart from the 80% shareholding of SNIT in the Intercity Limited, Intercity STC Limited, we also have shareholder advance of 13 million, which is saying that it should be treated as a preference share or debts. Then we also have the 49.5 million loan, Ghana cedis loan given by SNIT to the company. Then there is an issue of whether we guarantee the $17.5 million. So if you go to the books of this Intercity STC company Limited, the loan itself will be something that for SNIT alone, 49 plus 13, that will give you over 60 million, and then $17.5 million. And that one is not from SNIT, but from ADB. Are they actually servicing that loan? The 17.5 million, are they servicing it? Because as shareholder, as 80% shareholder in the company, you should know if they are servicing that loan.
Honorable Chair, they started servicing it, but during the COVID period, they ceased to service those debts.
The COVID is over for now. Have they resumed?
Honorable Chair, they haven't resumed as far as I'm aware.
And the ADB Bank is just waiting and not saying anything?
Unable to answer that, Honorable
You are unable to answer. Do you have representatives on the board of the company?
Yes, we do, Honorable.
Because you have 80% shareholding, so you have reps on the board. And the board, your reps should be able to feed the management of SNIT what is happening in that company. what is happening there. You should know from your rep. Who is the rep on the board?
Honorable Chair, we do have a rep on the board, and as I noted, from inception, they were actually making payments. In fact, there was a grant from the government which they were servicing, and as I noted, we were being subordinated in terms of our debt to that. And we were meeting the management quite regularly to basically protest and try and make sure that we also get paid. And that was prior to COVID. During COVID, of course, situation was more difficult, and they ceased to pay the loans. And post-COVID, they haven't. So that is the position as we sit, Honorable Chair.
So who is the rep on the board of
the rep on the board is our general counsel, and he's here. So.
Is he here?
Yes.
Kindly tell us what is happening on the board of the company.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, what my boss here said is the update I give him. During the COVID, we actually entered into negotiations with the bank because with the bank, ADB, because of force majeure situations, to give us some time to restructure their payments. And last time I checked on that, the talk is still ongoing. The payments haven't resumed yet, but no punitive consequences have been visited on ISTC yet, because the negotiations are still ongoing, Mr. Chair.
As a rep of SNIT, the majority shareholder on that board of the company, do you think that that business is a viable one?
Mr. Chair, I think so. The biggest challenge now, as I think we've expressed, is the fact that ISTC is unable to determine its own bus fares. Whilst its competitors are able to do so within a very short time, we have to go through a long process. And even at the end of the process, the fares that are determined for us are not in our interest. So the MD is in talks with the minister to make it possible for us to be given some freedom, as it were, to determine our fares. Because if we're able to do that, with the acquisition of the new buses, the quality of the buses are such that our competitors don't match it. So if we're given the freedom to determine the fares, I think we would compete very favorably. But because that is not there, it is disadvantaging the company. But
who determined the fare for the company?
The ministry.
Ministry of
Transport.
Transport.
Yes,
Clerk, take note that one of the challenges of the company is their inability to determine their own fares.
Honorable Chair, if I may come in, some of these decisions go beyond SNIT because they are more policy than perhaps operational. The reason why I'm saying that is that SNIT in itself is a social security trust, which sometimes are also called upon to provide social interventions for the generality of especially the working population and what have you. That's how come.
Is that the situation in this case? We need to know so that we know the recommendation we'll make.
That is why I'm saying that we will have to defer such a position to the policy makers for them to perhaps...
You are the minister now in charge.
Yes, that is why...
Is it the policy of SNIT to invest in this type of business to provide social service without profit motive? Tell us.
Yes, Honorable Chair, because...
in this particular case, because we want to record it.
Mr. Chairman...
So that all the investment we are making into intercity, we should not expect any return.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What are you saying? What I'm saying is that, Honorable Chair, take it easy. What I'm saying is that there are some...
I am taking it very easy.
Yes. But what I'm... Honorable Chair, what I'm saying is that it is not unusual for SNIT to intervene in certain areas to provide social good. A typical example is the Emporium, which certainly, if you were making an investment decision, perhaps it is not one thing that you will go in with the intention of getting your monies back within a very short time. Children's library, it's a social investment.
Honorable Minister, we are not talking about those ones. SNIT is keeping people's contributions for the future. They need to protect the money. They need to grow the money so that they'll be able to pay people's pension as and when it falls due. That is why they are taking these investment decisions in order to hold and protect the value of the money. If SNIT has decided to invest in intercity, remember I asked the rep earlier on, does he think that it's a profitable business? He said yes. It means that SNIT has invested into that company with a mind of making returns in order to protect the value of the people's money. So the issue about social services provision here doesn't come here in case of this investment.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I indicate the fact that, of course, we all know people go into transport business and they make profit out of that. That is why they continue to be in it. But what I'm trying to say is that in specific reference to this, we may have to defer to policy to find out what is the policy direction in respect of that. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I am not definitive in saying that, yes, whether or not it is 100% social investment. Of course, I was saying that the technical people here perhaps will not be in a position to give it, and that we should defer that to...
Well, as a minister, we'll give you 1 week to tell us what is the policy decision for SNIT investing in the intercity.
I would love to do that, Chairman.
Give us, because it will help us in writing our report.
Yes, I would love to do that.
On that note, we are suspending sitting for 40 minutes.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in so unbeatable. We should me promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Etosubim Yewra Alanchraman Tintin Yawaha na Empire Dorso na media meyi de wom senim kura me media shim. Hallelujah. Sa onyame ebe bono ho ban amana ho den no atimi agina ewo preti sey mu akodie bia ebe sori atia no de free ewiem asase ase emipom enya de betumi enya no sanse eyokon ena okro no okon no soso makoma so ade se bibia ntimi mmone ntofom na wobegina ne naso na sanso ne besi na de atene se minim se minuanom me papa no masofo akasa but me gitum pass and semefiri manum ba no amanfo bebre aye sensitive peso mutie. Hallelujah. Because papa say hefa no ojina bonkum ana ojina nifa ojina hen de atene say yefre bibi kasabebuo se eja bi wo fie na owo ma te se mimi se mi wo ma na oba obeben me meti mani no gyina me nkyɛn me hia bibia me pagya meni a on na me hu no sukom de me a me hu so na kɔsansuo no brɛ me ekom de me a on na brɛ me aduane mani kuma on na deda me me patade ahya a on na brɛ matade hye sɛ de tibia me ma ne dɔso ba me dɔsa oba no akyɛ wo mu maka ni nyinaa. Enunti na mpanifo e de aya kasabebuo se akokɔ ba a oben nini ena odi abebesere onyame tesoro wo ye nyina ye nyankopɔn ye nyina ye gya no no nanso so nia yewura kwadwo alankyramanten aye no megitum sɛ wawini nyankopɔn heart sanse Okona okono. Hallelujah. Amen. Good. Okona ya papai ekoi. Yenya nwie okono eso de ho aseda abra awurade awie. Se asofo ahia mo wa ha aye ye onyame na musifo. Kan hunu se nyame hwe asofo so ehira adasa. Sanse ye ne wiase ene osoro ntem ginafo. Na sa Thanksgiving service ya ekoso yi. Na mfiru se anka nkunimdi achi ena anka sedaba. Ba we de nkunimdi ni nyama yempo no aseda na dikan aba. Na kire se prophetically, spiritually, bibi asi wosunsun ay be pia ohonamu. Hallelujah. Enunti empire me pese nyina yesori gina na so besema ne ebo edema orua kwadwo alanchamanten eyo nyame protection akuntie bie be free baby biara yesane onyame gya ede akata no so one ne ho kani ene na dwumayefo omo mbesia na ntwie omo a omo betu agbalagba ne nsuman enya de a ebenya chefa wona brabom enti ye release onyankopon angels to say Michael, Gabriel and Raphael se omuntwa no ho nhia ye de ogya fadum ne mununkum fadum e kata ne so because so nyame ban boto no so a no otimi gina ne na so a said ye mehu se ban boto no so na obegina ne na so no said ye tibiara osoro ebe sane ama no ya mompa ye se rade e ma ne ban bo nya kese wo ye papa so ne ho kani ene na djuma ye fo onyame ban bo nya kese e wo papa so protection sanse binum de omo kamfo aponko ne ntiase enam ebinum penuro tunuro dware nuro enum nuro but akodi bi e besore tie papa yi enyina anu bi e besore tie papa yi enyina na emom onyankopon ene papa be nante kosisa ne nkunimdie ebe pie ti se awia e wo Yesu din mu amen na mishra mu nyina.
So please before you leave here, you are going to take the energy of God outside. You need to, all the blessings of God, all the promises of God, there is fight around it. You have to fight to get it, and you have to fight to keep it. Amen. So I thank God that you are one of the mighty men of Honorable Alan. Are you sure? What are the mighty men? What are the mighty men? And where are the honorable men? Can you jump on your feet and give the Lord a shout? You can do better. I say give Jesus a shout. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, we are the mighty men. We are the strong men. What are the strong women? The strong women. Where are the strong women? Hallelujah, somebody. Number 2, we are asking for good health for honorable, because a healthy man is a wealthy man. So we pray that God will preserve him, God will sustain him. God has already blessed him, but we continue to pray for him. So ladies and gentlemen, let's stand on our feet. Let's stand on our feet. Let's lift up our hands. And sono ye seo. Everybody sing it. And sono ye seo. Oh bibiara niwe radin tuminye. Enyumre yo and sono ye. Mesi bibiara niwa onyame tuminye. Mea minia penny nana akufu ado ebie nano ekase. Yese alambema no kwama nako no kwa no noba. Na Dede no utie mi anka beboa wo utie mi anka beboa wo yefa omampeni a osi adwaso sesia na numu asem se Ewurade fa se numu asem sesia no MPP as long as on the president no di ku ni so it's in a radio fund the numu asem no okaya ma yete ya no delegates no air kono often show wakoma mo delegates no air kono ye catch them Ewurade say otimi ade ni na ayo otua no hu ya so watoa ma ala asa dia be na Ewurade ntimi ye me honam ni na nyankopon bibia Ewurade yonana. I am the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me to do? Papa, akoma ben Ewurade. I check the history of Nigerians. And the Nigeria for Ewura who say onto ababone. Because when a Christian lead you, it is better. It is better. Me pen na meeting makasa acheo. It is better. It's a sentence original naso. Mausa so kostro. Sa odo ala na nye kasa keke. Mausa so. Every life be a mausa. Sa odo ala mpadia mausa so. Honorable ala sa odo ne pa mausa so. Na yensa ye kan na ne say like Joshua said, we have no hands, we have no strength, we have no connections. But we raise our hand to you, you who sits in secret. On that faithful day, our contentious echoes, be the voice of Allah, be the extension of your hand for Allah. Ewurade fa onsa so nipa biara okomo onipa bieni ho a wontim fa onsa nka no. You are God of your own. Nobody advises you, but this is our request. On my Ghana, we can go backward. For second delegate, you know, I will be voted on that day. The flag bearer for MPP. Let it not be any other name than the only one name we want to hear, the Honorable Alan Chamanti. What if I said to also? So Utimi Afa Babylonian king. Now Utimi at the was some Shenakuma we say. The God of heaven has given me a work to do, to build the walls of Jerusalem and to help all those Jews to return. So Utimi Ewurade. And left from here, this is the center of the nation. From Saka yet to come, the delegates, convince them by your supernatural power. Bring unto them, cause them, oh God, to vote for your servant Alan Chamanti. And above all, Ewurade, money favor. Money favor. Money favor. Favor, even those who are going to do for him cannot understand why they are doing it. But they have to do it. Lord, do it for him. And do it for us. And do it for Mother Ghana. Near the Emma Wagan in Ashawasa. The Sna was Suje Emma Wagana. A man penny 4 and the Yamanum. ɛne yɛnnuanom a fansa to wɔn so ma anuonyam ɛne ne die ɛnyɛ ɛma no dea pagya ɔma no firi nipa hunu nsɛm pagya ɔma no firi nipa ɛmpɛ yɛyɛ nsɛm na fa ɔman no ɛhyɛ yɛwura alenkyerɛmante nsa na wɔnam ne so ama wɔne onyam a ɔpɛ sɛ dadi wɔ ɛma no so no awie pɛyɛ wei na yɛbisa wo nam ɔba Yesu Kristo a ɔdɔ yɛn gye yɛn ho peneɛ bɛwu animguasɛm a yɛn sɔre wɔ anuonyam yɛn nsa ma yɛn wɔ Yesu din mu amen.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. People got sending me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and left me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
This was the place where the people of Apiatse were living before 20th January 2022 when the unfortunate happened, when there was an explosion. As a result, the whole community was razed down. People were rendered homeless and they had to be resettled at a new place called the Apiatse Resettlement or the Apiatse Relief Camp. That place used to be a resettlement area built up by Future Global Resources. But now, the people of Apiatse are occupying that place. The government has begun rebuilding the Apiatse community. And this is what you see. As today marks exactly 1 year, the explosion happened. We are here on GhanaWeb TV to find out from the people how they have been faring, what have gone on so far, and what have they been up to. Stay with us.
It was almost midday on January 20, 2022 when the sound of an explosion was heard at Apiatse, a community near Bogoso in the Prisia-Honi Valley municipality of the Western region. Properties were destroyed. 13 people died on the spot and several others got injured. 3 others died later, bringing the total number of deaths to 16. For several minutes, the community was filled with thick smoke as survivors struggled to find their way to safety. The explosion happened when a motorbike crashed into a truck carrying explosive materials from the Maxam Company Limited. The explosives were being transported by a subcontractor, Arthans Logistics, to the Chirano gold mines. The part of the road where the truck was standing after a caught fire caved in, destroying that portion of the road. The whole Apiatse community, with a total population of about 1,000, was devastated with all residents rendered homeless. The explosion brought together health, safety and security services, including the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Police Service, and the ambulance service to ensure the victims were rescued safely. Due to the collapse of houses, the municipal chief executive, Dr. Isaac Dasmani, and the municipal NADMO officer found temporary places for the victims at the Bogoso Roman Catholic Parish Hall to pass the night. They were provided with food items, mattresses, and some clothing, after which the Apiatse Disaster Relief Committee was formed to see to the proper management of the victims. They were later moved to the Dumasi settlement, a new community being constructed by Future Global Resources to temporarily settle them. Donations began pouring in from various companies, organizations, government agencies, international organizations, and individuals to support the victims. Tents were erected to serve as temporary residences for the victims at the new settlement called the Apiatse Relief Camp. Currently, they have all been moved from the tents to the uncompleted resettlement buildings, where they feel more secure than in the tents.
This is crazy. This is crazy. The whole town. Town in Nala. School no. School no. School is out. The whole town in Bubu. Bomb no, I blasted town in Alco.
A year ago, on 20th January 2022. After the incident, a lot of measures were put in place to at least to house the Apiatse citizens. As I speak right now, they are being resettled at the Udumase resettlement camp, and then all the donations and other things that people brought are all be housed there, and then we have been giving it to them, those who are in and those who are outside. Unfortunately, some of the injured, people were not even, from Apiatse, so they are all living. Some of them are living in Takrade, Takwa, Kumasi, and all like that. So we've taken data from all of them, and we are, ensuring that almost every month we provide with all of the necessary needs for them.
But how has the Apiatse Disaster Relief Committee been able to manage the victims from day one till today?
They brought in additional staff from national to support us, and with that we adopt a whole lot of strategy to work. It wasn't easy because the people were very traumatized and they didn't understand the process we were taking them through, but by God willing, we were able to go through. As I'm speaking, food sharing in the beginning was a little problem because of their database, but we were able to manage. As we went to the parish hall, the total number of that night was 868. Then we came to the camp and we were able to settle on their population, and we alight on the 1,036. As we came here, we were having 19 pregnant women. All of them has delivered, and we have 1 twins. So the total number was 10, and it has added to the number to make 1,036.
Some of the victims recounted their traumatic experiences.
I say moja so matari na mshevesi wa ite muse mvesi maya po na muse moja timepeja mvesi na muse msono essence na wana na mdewe nsasi sabo mbona mdewe fa ifyuko nti me ba me so a me be say me ba me so a say na be a o me so mu na mo de ma ba hospital nti me kodu na ifie ho nyina nso asɛ na dem times na nsu kɔmɛ yɛ dan ɛde me na mewura gyaro na nyame adom so na nsu wɔ nti me saa nsuo na bibia me sɛ me no bibi si me hwɛ mu bansa na me ho ayɛ hye nti me hwɛ nsuo no gu mu na me yɛ sɛ me mu ba yɛ dan aba m pɔm hɔ wɔ soro nti ma nante bɛyɛ 5 minutes mpo ɛna me totɔ nti me da hɔ no ma mu na mu sɛ me so aba dem time na me so aso pemfo na ɔyɛ sɛ opagya me nti opagya me bia na wate ato na ɔmode ntoma ɛbɔ me ɛkyekyere me so nti ɔmode me ba akakaka ma ɛbɛdu pa kɔ na brɛda bi bɛso me mu na ɔmode me kɔto ka nti ɔmode yɛba aseda ha se na ɔmode kɔdu ɛbɛdu ɔna hɔ ayɛ ma menya baabi mpo na ɔmode ma akɔ nti ɛte hɔ no ma na ɛte sɛ gya ne san so ɛdɛ ɛba na me nua soma bɔ ebi hɔ na ɔyɛ dɛ ɔso me mu na ɛkɔ nti edu hɔ na obi ayɛ dɛ obi aduane nti mete hɔ no ma mu de san yɛ na meda bragam na ɔmode me kɔ ɛsoro hɔ ɛkɔdu hɔ nso anyɛ yie na ɔmode me to ka nti ma ne tim na yɛ wɔtapa a ɔmo pia wei na ahyɛ mu nti deɛ me hu yɛ ne sɛ ɔma yɛ mo operation
Daddy no question. Okay, mo operation. No way. That was 1 week. We me baby. Na so what you have. Boy. I see a problem I want to wanna. How come why the pressure? The pressure on the blood. It's fine. Yale basa.
But that time na so me see na mo fie. Na mfa da ko from oba na mu no kan da me manusu. Ti me din su no fi inside the bar na ma da brana. Na mo hu da wusu afokrom. Da ma na me kre da. Aso obi ne dan le shiwo. Na ona mo de ma ho wo hwe na o che da obi mu ye adwuma won ho ina wo ko de. Wo ko na wa ko bo ne nka we du mu gende e bia la obi ne dan na o le shiwa. Na wa de kwan. Ti mo so mo tu me dan ne mu ame ko hobi. Akwa hwehwe me na waka ne de obi ankodum ne mita na me sa ma chi kodum mita nti mo ko na me ko hwehwe me ba ti mo ko na wo so wo me na ne olo bobanchi ho nti mo ko wo na wo se we agye ho kwan de won ko wo se ho aba ko bi ho wa so nti mi zu mi die mi ka bla mi kodu wo na de na o chere ade na mpo wa azza wa me na tam na aso atemi na me na no so wo kwan no ho ba nti mo ko ka bi se na wa kire me de me sa ma chi na me ko na ade na blasting nti ma manwa tutu me na me de lolo kwan no ho a me pra mo gelu win pa but mutumi sorry tue mi nka kodu mi fie ho na echidi ho na me yembre mutumi nkasa mutumi ya hwe na mete na wa obi oba bia na wa pam wo se gya ne ibo we na obaba na odi mi nke obi oba bia onu unu akura den na gya ne ba nti oba pam ho da ma na blade bia na so we pra wana ni olba oba fa mi shechi no odi me die mi nka ekwan bi de odi me fa do ana ye besi ko emi ya ka me ye de call bogosu
Tina bebo ni bo mi la ka de tai wa pa if you go here you go buy it kan no on show ba so mo kwan pa on show ba ye no mo ka te me no me mi wo si ye bo ya ko go no bi na obi ka te no bi an go do ni misa si me te ma bi go do me na ko ti me 2 years me wo hwi me nwa baba na na da muja me na oshishefo me chumba muntu na mo fosu ya mo twen di na muntu ga se mu bora obi bana me ya da na o mafa wadi ya ko hospital e ko bo so se ko fe yo kata ko
Na mo fie nti ada me was store the me ha wo ho am tata nyama na me tunta ne dada wo ho nti meti po ba na me nyima do nti me so me so na pa kwan mo de na mo chi kakra wo baby a me so na wan nti me se da me na se da me dia me sore fi me nyama ne mo na me gina no kwan ne mo na ma sha do kura o retwe mo kwa ko mo no aye da nti me twa me no na ka no eje dimma o letso pa nya abunta me fi ho mo no na mo ko ma me mo so TV esi na me pen fini na wo na maka atwere mo no bita no na wo mpoi na damadi na esikwaro kwan no ntemi na mama dwunan de transformer no so bebi aka no ole PAC no ntimi ya dam no na wo esebeti ntimi ko ni sad wona medum mimika no nti atras wona na mti program we no sebeti small boy na no gina mtiano no sebeti ntimi ni ntu mi nsemi na onkeka no ho wonso Sabe de minka nsensima na me pada obi bo so me bana mu na wa ama mama bana enyankwa ama timikekema ba me ya na me hye obi a ntima me bi wo fa na ntima nsa on de so fi no na o so me bana mu do no de by the time ade begina ha mu na me bana on hye ntima me ni tini kyare asana olusun so hye na o hye na o ka kya na menje me bana na o ko hye na so na de no.
Many had their legs, arms, and other parts of their bodies broken as a result of the explosion, with some still having particles of metals within their bodies. 1 year on, life has not been easy for the victims as they lost everything they had, bringing their lives to a total standstill.
This year, abandon this year, Serena, Moyan, Yaya shop papa, one boy. This year, more boy here could do, yes, this year, I'm waiting my head in my head. More like a cranade, able to me so that I don't be at that trouble from me.
Make it a miscam business, Bibiana. Abandon this canaship, so be no bad more crashes or the flu. Not one we had in this command. The am a woman. Until the first no cry, which are the Timancasa. Abandons young would may never say. Yam banana, I am many. I would tell the woman,
First, and there were Pietro. Am I stock a climate ton idea? Miss Sanso Pama dear Cacra, we didn't never buy my Pamano. Let me turn Yamaka Canca. Now, some see it bedroom. It said, will be on Pama dear. And I did turn to Son and quite a set first. What talk of funny maybe go her, Bessie was until I is a ma Saturday beyond my time mission. What number was in my air? What taste in Cacranca, Minia Cacra, no, they are Beffia bed, I have a woman banner school. It's Cacra, it's Nakas.
Some of these women who have begun these small businesses receive support from some organizations so they could start their lives over again.
Yeah, well, since the incident happened, there have been some series of donations, series of monies given to them. Some organizations even gave them some money, directly to them, not through assembly, not through NADMO. Some of the things that the money that were given to them directly and other things, a lot of them have picked their lives back and they are seriously going about with their activities, with the exception of the injured. And once you go there, you see that people are happily moving around and then doing their own businesses. So I think now the challenge we are having is that those who are injured, because we have about 8 people who are paralyzed, and as at now, some of them cannot even walk. So those are the people that we are concentrating now and then providing some support for them.
The people of Apiatse have expressed their profound gratitude to the Apiatse Disaster Relief Committee and donors for the support so far.
Sama meka ache mo de adofo de ne mane aduane ne ntare ne bibia bla bia ka sama meka choma se da omase na so emonti sa wo ai sa mo boy ti so mo bia so mo boy awo ya mo na sa mo fo ya na da omase pa awo de omo ya ma da omase pa
oh, since I did, I don't form my moya moa, I did Joanna Bray and paying for. My Joanna, all right. Or which I Joanna, my did me. If you here be our office was to see ya, that's at the corner of one. Or mut me there, or mut me the my. Say, young Jane Conquer and Coco Boy, and Joanna did, ye be. By a sign, you become Honswa, ye pay.
Some of the victims were, however, of the view that the monies donated by companies, organizations, and individuals were not enough for them. The PRO of the Apiatse Disaster Relief Committee, Daiweo Kwashi, explained the reason.
Yes, there's one confusion in the minds of almost everybody in this country. That has to do with the various funds that are in place to take care of the Apiatse issue. One of them is the Apiatse Disaster Relief Fund. That is made up of the local people that are in charge of the day-to-day running of the Apiatse people. It is chaired by the MC, the divisional chief, Nana Atakoto Brembi, is on that committee. The area head of the Church of Pentecost Apostle Onyina, the parish priest, police commander, health director, and the rest. We are all on that committee. That is what I'm part of. We receive donations around, yes, but how it has been circulated around that all the donations come to us and we still cry for money, it's something else. It makes it look like we don't know what we are doing. Truth is that when the incident occurred and the government promised reconstructing the community, they set up a fund that is headed by our own dear mother, Madam Joyce. That is the support fund. The mandate was to look for money, to solicit for funds, to reconstruct the community. That is why the fine that was placed on Maxam, they asked that a certain percentage be paid into that fund, which was the seed money for the reconstruction. So all those donations that you heard, Ghana Gas, this GMPC and the stuff, Go Fields, the $4 million, 8 million Ghana CD and stuff, it didn't come to the relief committee. It went into the support fund. That is what they are using to reconstruct the community. So we, the relief committee, we don't receive that huge donation for us to have enough to do all these things that they are asking.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, on Friday, January 21, 2022, paid a visit to the victims where he, on behalf of the government, assured them of the rebuilding of the Apiatse community. GhanaWeb's visit to the reconstruction site indicates that some of the buildings were at the roofing level, others at the lintel and footing stages. Brick molding machines were erected on site, with workers busily molding the bricks to ensure constant supply of bricks.
Government assured the people of reconstructing their community for them. And like I said, individuals and organizations have donated building materials. Recently, Talo Ghana donated 4,000 bags of cement. That is quite a number. With other organizations, Gapoha and stuff, all donating cement. Others, iron rods and stuff. And as you can see, it's evident that reconstruction is ongoing. And like the consultant said, by June, July, we should be seeing a completion to the works that is ongoing. And just like how the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Jinapo, assured, by the end of this year, the people of Apiatse should come back to their community.
Now, if you look at the main reconstruction, headed by the Honorable Benito Bio, as we speak right now, work is progressing steadily, because initially there were some groundwork, paperwork, and all those things, and that caused a little delay. But since they started, the work is progressing. Right now, we can say that they are about 35% complete, and they are still working on it seriously. So we are all following up with our rap attention and making sure that at the end of the day, the Apiatse people get their homes back and get their lives back. It's right now it's about 35% complete, and then the target is by July, where all the buildings should be at the roofing stage, or maybe let me give myself maybe plus or minus by the close of this year, we should be able to relocate.
Although the government of Ghana fined Maxam $6 million, the chief of the community and its residents do not think the amount was enough.
Na ne mesre ne se ne Ghana man anase Ghana ban etumi ejina ye se atoyenchem esi yi obehwe na o ma chichire Apiatse kuro no foforo no ne mesre me sadam yam na Akufo-Addo ne se ɔmfa saa kwan no so na ɔnhyɛ mazam company foɔ no kutupa sɛ yɛfa ne sɛ compensation a ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmode maayɛ no aban no fa ne nan nsi fam na ɔnhyɛ ɔmo kutupa sɛ ɛsɛ ɔmo ma abiɛteman
sɛ mmerɛ a asɛm no si no ebi yɛ wo ɛde kɔ mazamfoɔ hɔ ɛne wɔn pɛkɛ sɛ ɔfa ɛdan no si no ho kɛfaa no ho wɔgye tum sɛ ɛkɔfaa no ho wɔgye tum deɛ a ɔno nea yɛbɛsen ase ɔyɛ sɛ sɛsi abi ne yɛbɛdi afe a sika biara na obiara ho a yɛde pii bam nim prae ho yɛdza obi bɛtumi ayɛ adwuma dɔnhwere na wɔatumi ɛgyina n'anim te sɛ ma nka ɔte dadaa nti yɛserɛ dɛ Nanado Obasan akɔ mazamfoɔ hɔ na wasan ihu akegyina asan akasa ema ometum abamanya compensation.
While requesting for more support, the Deputy NADMO Director, Louis Afo, and the PRO, Thaiwe Kwashi, expressed their profound gratitude to all companies, organizations, and individuals who have been donating to the community from day one till date.
So lots of companies and individuals have supported us in cash, in kind and stuff. I can't do without mentioning the Red Cross Society and International Organization for Migration, World Food Program, UNICEF, the various embassies in the country, Chamber of Mines especially. They were able to mobilize all the mining companies to come in to support the people in all forms. We remain most grateful to all of them and various people from various walks of life who came to support the people. They are the reason why still the people are up. Otherwise, it would have been a different story. So we remain grateful. But as it is 1 year, we'll continue to ask for support because we still have people in there who are going in and out of hospitals.
Things were coming across the nation, even outside Red Cross, IOM, UNICEF, World Food Organization, IMF, Minerals Investment Fund, churches, and the president himself, the nation, has really shown love to these Apiatse people. And with that, it has helped us because whatever they need in terms of the pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, to the old age, we've been able to meet not all of their needs, but we've been able to meet most of their needs to make sure they get back to their normal life. I can say that with the help of IOM and the Red Cross Ghana, now people who are serious to start life have begun something which is helping them.
1 year on after the explosion happened, people have to live their lives again. But it has been quite difficult for them. Members are appreciative of the donations and things they have received for organizations, individuals, and companies, and they are very much appreciative of that. However, they are pleading for more support for them as they have to start their life from ground zero up to a different level. In the Apiatse community, that is the relief community, that is what we are seeing behind me. As we speak to people on GhanaWeb TV, they are of the view that if people come to their age, their life will come back to normalcy. From the Apiatse relief camp, this is Thomas Nete reporting for GhanaWeb TV.
Now, oh, me.
Obek canocre. Susu sang pine, be a want on and be a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shade and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I am subject instant charges. Extinguishing is unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian dollars for the first transaction. With this Sunday cigar coffee, download to Lemonade Finance.
If I'm really digging you and we go out on the first date and it is an absolutely perfect date, I'm down for it.
Why would you bring your friends? You didn't discuss it with me. Oh, maybe I'm bringing 2 friends because I'm like
2 friends on a date.
People bring as much as 3.
Yeah.
Right there.
What you wear, what you say, to the amount of food you order on the first date says a lot about you. What impression do you wish to create? Well, I'm very selective when it comes to honoring dates. 1, for security reasons. 2, you're about to find out. On this episode of Mons and Cuddles, we table the do's and don'ts on a date for an eye-opening conversation. I am Paula Amabruni. When we come back, the show continues. You're welcome back to Mons and Cuddles on GhanaWeb TV. Yeah, I know you missed me, and I missed you too. Just took a break, but we're back bigger and better. Now, for today's discussion, we're looking at the do's and don'ts on a date. A lot of people are getting it wrong. So today, you're going to learn all the in totals, the do's and don'ts, what you need to do when you go on a date. Because some of, when you don't do it right, the person will just run away. They'll not even love to have a second date with you or whatever. So to help me to do justice to today's topic, I have with me Zainat Ishaaku, but I love to call her Z or Queen Promise. She's an entertainment journalist and presenter with Apiatse TV. Z, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And now we've sandwiched this young man. He's a fashion blogger. His name is Francis Asong-Boateng, but all of us love to call him Bami Dele. Is that I got it right? Yeah. So where did you get that one from? And I'll bet you
that will be something for another time.
Something for another time. Yeah. But I must say I like how you're all looking and all that.
Thank you.
But we say dates. Z, I just want to start with you. What has been your biggest turn off on a date? Maybe you went on a date with someone and you just decided this is my first and last. I'll not do again.
Well, I think it had to do with the phone issue. I think a lot of us young people of today, we are so consumed with our phones that even when we are on a social setting, for instance, with the date, you go out with someone and they're on their phone half of the time, and you're like, okay, so I just came to be a puppet here. Why are you not talking to me? Why are we not interacting? This is supposed to be a date. Why are you on your phone most of the time? I think that was so far, that has been the biggest turn off for me, the phone issue.
Honestly, we'll be quiet. It doesn't even have to be a date. Yeah. Once we are starting a conversation and you're on your phone, I'm like, dude, what are you trying to say?
Yeah. It's a really big problem now, because I go out often, and you go out and a group of young people, you've wasted money, picked an Uber or fueled your car, you're going out to hang out with some a group of your friends, and everyone gets there and everyone is on their phone. Even with friends. I mean, when you meet for the first time, it's understandable. I'm not comfortable with you yet, so I would be on my phone most of the time. If I don't know you, I would simply just sit down quietly. And but then as a group of, you know, like friends, you already know each other. Now you've come out to have fun and you're on your phone the entire
put the
time.
food down.
Right?
Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Unless you want to snap the food. You know how to do it.
Well,
down there.
but after that, you just shut it down and put it somewhere.
I think we should start charging. If you go on a date and maybe someone, the moment I see on your phone, that's
yes,
100
yes.
Yeah,
I think that would help.
Great. Now, Francis, I know when it comes to you going on a date, in our setting, it's just not normal. Or I just say you don't usually have women asking or initiating the date. So if a woman should pull off, Francis, I want to take you on a date, do you think that it's just too much or it's just fine?
No, it's just fine. We have to spend time with each other. Going on dates doesn't necessarily mean we should go sit out and eat. Or going on dates is supposed to let both of you or whoever it is know you more, and you also know the person more. So we can have a date like stay at home, order food or something. Like it's just
and
the
then
two
it can
of
be
you
the woman initiating that
it. Why not?
Okay.
It's fine. It's just fine.
I think the reason why dating seems to be when a woman asks a man out on a date, it becomes like, oh, you know, out of the place, is because of the way Ghanaians seem to look at dating. Okay. It is a non-romantic affair. You're just going out trying to get to know each other. It can be non-sexual, non-romantic and all that. So if a woman should have the courage to step up, oh, I like your vibe, Francis, why don't we go out and have dinner, have tea somewhere, just hang out, that shouldn't be a problem. But because of the way we see it, when you say, oh, I'm dating, people automatically try to make it look like you're in a relationship with a person, which is not the case. It's just a date. So
okay,
if a woman
if you're
should
in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Maybe say you've been hammering that you are single, but we'll talk about that. So imagine you have a boyfriend and then maybe his friends brought you out on a date. He should understand that it's just a date.
No, for that, it should be something that you have already discussed with your partner.
Okay.
So for instance, we're in a relationship, but I want to see and get to know other people. You should have that conversation with your partner. Even though I like you romantically, I still want to get to know other people. For that, if I have had that conversation with my partner, then if his friends see me out on a date, that shouldn't be a worry to him. But me personally, if I'm connected to someone, that's it. I don't have a mind for any other person.
Okay.
So if I'm with someone, I'm with someone. But if there's
I
another
copy.
person who wants, even though they are in a relationship with someone, they want to get to know other people. And when I say get to know other people, you are just trying to know them more. You are not having sex with them, doing all those things that you would do with your partner with them. So if it's on that level, then yeah, why not?
All right. Now, Francis, I just want to find out, have you ever had a bad experience on a date with a lady before?
No. I don't think so. I've never had like a bad experience.
Okay, but then judging from maybe conversation with men, what are some of the turn-offs? Because today we just want to have that eye-opening conversation so that we know what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right.
So the first turn-off that most people complain about is girls bringing their friends on a date.
Battalion.
No, I would say it as it is.
Yeah, why would you bring your friends?
They say for security reasons.
Bullshit.
No.
Excuse my language.
If you were scared to come on the date, don't come at all. Why would you bring your friends? You didn't discuss it with me. Oh, maybe I'm bringing 2 friends because I'm like
2 friends on a date.
People bring as much as 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
People do that.
Yeah, people do that.
So that's like
that's the biggest turn-off. Like, why would you bring your friends on the date?
But then now that brings me to my next question. When you're going on a date, especially a lady, because it looks like it's only more of the time, it's just the men who initiate the whole let's go on a date. Can I pick you up for dinner? Can I pick you up for lunch? So as a lady, should you know the budget of the guy before, you know, ordering? Because some people want then their taste bad all over the place. I want this, I want that, ordering this, ordering that. Should you know the person's budget, or you just say you suppress your appetite?
The thing is,
okay,
if someone asks me out on a date, I have high taste because I know I can, if I decide to go out alone, I know the places I would go to because I know there's something there that I can afford to eat. But if a guy asks me out, I will ask you, where do you want to take me? Mostly, I don't come up with, oh, take me here, take me there. Because what if I go and mention take me here and it's not on your budget? But if you decide to pick a place, then I know that, oh, you know the amount of money you're going to spend at this place. You know how much they charge for food and whatever. So that means your pocket is heavy enough to take me there. So mostly, if someone asks me out on a date, I don't pick the place.
You let them
I let you pick. I just say, oh, you know, surprise me, take me where you want to take me.
But have you always liked their taste?
Yeah, yeah. It's not always bad.
Then I know you're kind of say no further. Now, Francis, on the back of, you know, getting to know the person's budget, how do you also initiate? Because some of your gender, they love to impress. But you find yourself on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the ladies have to suppress their taste a little.
You cannot tell me to suppress my taste.
No. You know, some people are all like, they order like 3 different drinks, like 4 different starters.
But what do you need 3 different drinks for?
You know.
Where
so,
did you
like,
did
you feel, but Oba like order something that you like, something reasonable.
Reasonable, that's the key word, please.
Yeah.
So those doing the watching, Francis say more order something reasonable. Yeah,
or that some people.
Oh, sorry, I'm
waiting
for the date.
You know, like take 3 different cocktails, order 4 different starters because they ever cannot pack their coffee. So you know, just be reasonable with what you order. That's all I can say.
So for men, when you're going on a date, do you have like maybe a budget? Maybe I don't want to spend over 500 cities or 1,000, because as they say,
yeah. We always have a budget, but I don't know. So okay, mostly people have budgets. Yeah, I want to spend like maybe 500 cities for both of us. Did you get it? But sometimes,
which is reasonable.
Yeah,
500 cities in Accra is reasonable.
Like, so you know, almost suppress your because you know.
All right. Now let's look at the location pick, because we've done the things to do and all that. But I know that the location is very key, because sometimes you might say you are taking me out. Me dressing, maybe I didn't makeup, you just wanted to go with. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So what should influence the location? And once you pick the location to Atatu follows. Yeah. So if you can educate us, like, okay, yeah, it's an evening certain, this is where it's going to be nice. Maybe if days where you want to go on the beach, which time should it be? We have tea, but I don't know if people go for like, you know, tea dates and all that. Yeah,
I think prior to making the decision to go out on a date, you would have discussed what you like, what you don't like, things you like to eat, places you like to visit, places that you like to hang out at. So if I'm talking to a guy and, you know, we all express interest in the beach, for example, then we decide that maybe the guy decides that, oh, since the both of us have been talking about liking the beach so much, why don't we have our first date at the beach? Or maybe I talk about how I like to eat all the time, because I really like to eat.
Yeah, so I heard.
So obviously, if you are taking me out on a date, it should be to eat. I mean, I'm not too difficult to impress. I like chop, but I like fufu a lot. So if you take me somewhere, if I have expressed to you that I like fufu a lot, I would expect that if you are taking me out on a date, oh my God, take me to, right. So I think going out on a date mostly should be influenced by things that you have already talked about. So if it's a beach night and you decide that you're going to go in the night, some people like night beach, some people like to go during the day. I find people wearing, you know, I feel that a lot of people always try to look as comfortable as they can be. But wearing jeans and all those things to the beach, you're supposed to be free, very free at the beach. And there are so many amazing beach wears. long dresses,
like the maxi now,
very
those are
maxi, right?
yeah.
Very nice and chic that you can put on with your nice hat, you know, to protect yourself from the sun and all of that. And even putting that much effort to step out, I think just adds to whatever it is. So if it's on the side of the guy, he sees you've come out, it's the beach, and he sees that you are on theme. That should mean, like, oh yeah, this girl really knows what she's about, right?
Yeah.
And then you are the guy, you are coming, and I see you in your, you know, beach shorts and all that. I'm like, yo, this guy knows what's up. It's all part of the initial things that people do that makes you, you know, whatever conversations you've been having already, then the liking starts to come in that situation, because guy we were dressed up me like this, I'm very interested in looks. So if you step up on different dates looking very nice and according to theme, you've got me already.
Listen, listen,
you've got me already.
Good.
And
okay.
Listen, I remember, I think about 2 years ago, and it's not just that, I go out to very nice restaurants. It's not just the usual KFCs and all that, but like a very nice, maybe 4-star, 5-star restaurant. And then you see boys there with their jeans trousers sagging and jersey shirts with sneakers. How are you going to dinner with your pants sagging in jeans? You're going to a nice restaurant where you sit there and they bring you, you know, a la carte, you know, 3-course menus and things, and you are wearing jeans, sagging your pants, and you are in there, bro.
They don't know. They should visit Francis' Instagram page to show me, because Francis, like, you do it good. You visit his Instagram page.
Yeah.
No jokes.
Yeah.
Now I know that you got a lot going on when it comes to the right location and all that. So with you, what influences? Is it the taste or the person that you're going out on a date with, or how do you do it?
Yes, as she said, like it's pre-discussed. So what do you like? You like Chinese, so I choose a place, or we both decide on the best Chinese place we've heard of or we've seen on Insta. Like right now, everything is on like the net.
Yeah.
You hear of so many places, you see so many places, you see people going to so many places.
Okay.
So you know you have a like you have an idea of what you want.
Yeah.
Maybe you've seen a place you want to visit. So once we are talking about that, you can chip in that, like make a suggestion and all that. So that's what influences where we want to go. And then where we want to go would also influence our, like what we put on. Because you can't go to dinner, as she said, with like a sagging pants. You have to like dress well, wear like a really nice shoe, a sneaker. For dinner is like some way.
So what do you think they do for dinner?
Oh, maybe you wear a nice dress shoe, like a dress shirt. Maybe you want to look like a little casual. You can like, you know, fold your dress shirt a little and then like wear a really nice sneaker. You know, there are sneakers that go well with
casual.
Like with a formal dress, which becomes like a little casual. So yeah, you know, you look the part when you are going out. You don't just like throw on anything and then go out. You know, because like you go out and you see people and like you are so angry.
How could you? Okay, they did not understand the assignment. They never understood the assignment. All right. Now the big one, because a lot of girls say when we're going on a date, I expect you to come to my house, come pick me up, and we go.
Because
when we're done, drop me off, and then whole opening. But Francis, do you think that if a guy doesn't pick you up when you're going on a date, it should be something that you should be so mad at?
I don't think so. But why won't I pick you up? You know? I will pick you up. Like, you know, we discuss all these things. So I know, oh, maybe I'm not closing from work like quite early or something. So maybe you'll meet me there. I'll order an Uber for you, or you pick an Uber. I'll pay, or what. We discuss all these things. But if I'm free, I'll come pick you up. Why not?
And when, after the date, because some men, it's their rule. No matter where you live, they make sure they will drop you off before they go. Because as you're going, that's when maybe you could talk conversation. Did you enjoy the dates? Catch up. Maybe you might get a kiss. You never know. But when you just part ways just like that, I feel like, how would you know she go home safely?
Yes. So even with my friends, when we go out, I make sure I drop everyone in their houses before I go home. Like, because I want to know everyone is safe. Everyone is, so I make sure I drop everyone home. Even if I won't go home, maybe out, like we'll go to one friend's place to sleep there, and then maybe the next morning something. But I make sure I will drop you home, so I know you are safe before I leave.
Safety first.
And that just shows the kind of man you are if you do that, because security is very important. And women love security. Women want security in a man. So if on a first date you pick me up and then you bring me back home, make sure I am indoors before you leave, that's like a very good first impression. Like, oh yeah, this guy, he's really thoughtful, he wants me to be safe and all that. That's a good first point for you, like 10 marks then on in my books. Check.
All right.
So yeah,
okay,
very important.
So you're still watching Molten Cutters, but as my guest stated, Francis and Z, it's good to pick the person up and all that. But ladies, it's all about communication. Maybe he's running late, you're running late, you can still take the lead and you just wait. After the dinner or after the date and he doesn't pick you up and you know he's acting up, then you can make a whole fuss about it. But you shouldn't just ruin the first day just because maybe he said you should meet him up or anything. So you're still watching Moons and Cuddles. So we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, the show continues. Welcome back. This is Moons and Cuddles on GhanaWeb TV with Paula Amabruni. We're still discussing the do's and don'ts on a date, and I know you're taking notes, right? Because you don't want to get it wrong. Now, let's move quick to the discovery box. Now, lady and gentlemen, Z, we've got here some interesting questions, and as we always do, we expect our guests to give us honest answers. So I'm going to start with Francis. You're going to pick one, and then you're going to give us an answer to it. So you're going to read out to our viewers. What you got in there?
Would you stay or leave if your date isn't what you expected?
Gangang.
I think I'll stay.
You stay?
Yeah.
Reason?
And then I don't want to be like disrespectful, at least. I stay for that date. If maybe the person is not what I expected, but like the person is good, like company or something, so I would stay. If I still don't like the person after the date, I like, then maybe I ghost, but I won't
ghost them with Charlie. Z, no one ghost you. Okay, now let me move to Z and let her pick. You got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pick that.
What you got in there?
Ooh. Oh my God.
What's it?
Have you contemplated on sex on a first date, and are you down for it? Listen, if it is somebody that I have had a crush on, you know, before you go out with someone, you've had some really good vibes, like both of you really dig each other, even before meeting on the first date. Yeah. So yes, if I'm really digging you, and we go out on the first date and it is an absolutely perfect date, I'm down for it.
Energy. Now that brings me to the question. I know you have a crush on Kim Promise.
I do. It's not a crush. He's my husband. Why are you making it look like it's not
official? Boy!
He's proposed and all with a rubber ring.
Oh my God. Z will kill me. Z is so obsessed about Kim Promise. I don't know how it is. But
I don't even know myself.
Charlie,
I'm obsessed with him.
But he's a fine guy. I don't blame you, you know. Okay.
Yes.
Wifey. Now let's go to, because in our certain, like in Ghana, when you go on a date, some people think, oh, it's just the sole responsibility of the guy to cater for all the bills. Some people to say it's a 50-50 thing. What do you suggest?
I think it should be discussed.
Discussed?
Yeah. Maybe we are going Dutch on the bill, or I'm catering for the bill. But when someone invites me out, I go with my cash.
You never
just
know.
In case. Yes. And then mostly I offer to like pay part of the bill. Maybe we split or something. Or maybe I'm paying like the whole thing. But so I think you should have some cash on you, and also it should be discussed prior to the date.
Okay. Mr. Francis, no discussion. There should be absolutely no discussion. If you are a guy and you ask me out on a date, you are paying, my dear.
If you're a girl and you ask me out on a date.
And if you're a girl and you ask the guy out on a date, you're paying. I feel like it should be whoever it is that requests for the date should pay.
Yeah.
And if you
I
get
will
there,
pay,
yes.
But like, you know, some people, I don't know, but when I ask you out on a date, I am actually coming to pay. I'll cater for like.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that, ladies, if you know the guy, yes, don't go empty-handed. No. I always go on a date with what I call the anger money.
In case you get angry.
I get angry. Like, I'm not the only one in this.
No. I go on a date with anger money because I know how little things make me angry. So I will not go. If, for instance, if let's say on that date, you're coming from work and we decided we're going to meet at the spot, and I get there before you because I always try to be on time. So what if I get there before you and then I'm seated, I'm ordering drinks, and probably you're in the office somewhere and something comes up and it turns out that you can show up.
That is,
How would you pay for your drink?
Always have your emergency money.
Right? You need to always have emergency money no matter what. Even if you know you're like cocksure that this person is going to pay, just have something on you just in case anything can happen. The person can decide not to show up. You may have eaten. The person may have lost his or her wallet.
Never know.
You never know. So you should always be able to step up in situations like that.
Now let me just add that I don't know why, but then all the guys I've met, they are always up for, I want to pay the bill. Even when you want to do, like, wait, what are you doing? Put it aside. So what I also do is that I can call you randomly. I want to take you out for drinks, bills on me. I want to take you out for dinner, bills on me. So that I know I told you bills on me. Like, let's go grab a burger, bills on me. Because the moment he asks me on a date and I go, I try to take my, like, wait, what are you trying to do? There are some men who will not let you do the 50-50 or all that. So ladies, what we can also do is to, you know, sometimes just, if you know that you don't have the money to take him to that 5-star restaurant or anything, drinks always do. As I said, let's just talk over drinks. And
one beer bottle and he's okay.
Some men don't ask for anything. And then the club bar could be, we are good to go.
It's the club for me.
It's the club. Hi. So let's continue the discussion. Now, we earlier we talked about satisfying you're suppressing your appetite, but then sometimes you go on a date and maybe there's something nice on there and then you just want to pick. As a woman or as a man, should you say, oh, maybe he might think I'm being too expensive or whatever, so I shouldn't just order it? Because with me, I think I will order once maybe I have money to. I'll look at it. Maybe if it's a $250, I'm like, okay, I don't know if he's got that, but once I got money in my wallet, I'll order for it and not be like, because it's a date, I want to enjoy it. What if that is what I'm craving for?
Right.
I think I'll go for it. I'll not suppress it on that instant.
And then even if the person told you they are paying, you don't know their budget, you can, like, what do you think about this, like food, or what do you think about this on the menu? Like, you can do that and know if, oh, maybe I think it's too expensive, it's way out of my budget. Like, you know. Communication always like sorts everything out.
Exactly.
So not necessarily that you have to like take money out of your pocket. Maybe the person's budget is like way bigger, you know. So you just ask, oh, what do you think about this? I want to have this, what do you think about it? Oh, maybe it's way out of my budget. Oh, I have money on me.
Francis, I can imagine the number of guys who will be honest enough to say, sis, right,
I get you.
I can imagine. Maybe they might let you order once the conversation is going. They text a friend, Charlie, send me 500, I'll go pay you back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the men from this side put too much pressure on themselves. Guy, you put too much pressure on yourselves. I know from afar you are talking to this person. On social media, we are all living this fake, you know, bougie lifestyle. You see me, oh, you see the places that I go to, you see the kind of things that I wear, you see the stuff that I have. So you think that, oh, this person has really high taste, so I must impress. Meanwhile, on that particular day, that lady is just really looking forward to eating some kokontebi. Right? But then in your mind, like, I really want to impress this girl because, you know, from what I've seen on social media, from the way she's talking, it looks like she would want some Kempinski meal, she would want some buffet, she would want to go to, you know, East End Bistro or some place like that, you know, but it's really not that deep.
All right. Now, before we wrap up the conversation, I just want you to throw in, as you stated, the discussion was the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, what you've met with people, just someone listening or watching us, what would your advice be to them when they're going on a date? I'm going to start with you, Francis. Okay, so I would advise you to dress well, smell good. You know, personal hygiene. One thing I've noticed is that boys don't take our personal hygiene seriously because we are boys. Like, simply because we are boys. So they think like a man must be fearful and ugly. That's what I heard. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. You know, you have to look good. Obi Joe girl and yeah, but you know, it's these things that you smell good. You can't go out with a girl and you know, have some funny smell. Like, try as much as like to look good, to smell good, like take your personal hygiene seriously, like clean shave, like shave your hair, like trim your hair, you know, brush your teeth. Okay. Oh, use a deodorant. People don't do that. Like, you meet people and it's like bad. So these things count. You know, these are the basic things we overlook. Like, forget the money you have and all, but these little things to like, you know, count. So I think we should take our personal hygiene seriously. Man, you heard Francis said, do take your personal hygiene serious, because ladies, we're looking. Don't think we are not looking or we are not watching. We put all that in, because you go on a date and then later you meet your friend and like, ah, the guy passed some shubia he was wearing, a bungalow shubi. No. We look at that too. We will mark you that. So, Z.
Yes, for me, for the ladies, I think a lot of us are getting the whole dating scene wrong, and I think it's time for us to actually put a lot of effort into it. Go as you, do not carry your friends on a date. If it's security reasons, let the guy come pick you up and take you back home, and the security reason is sorted. Yeah, if you say I'm bringing my friends, because no, it is you going to know the person, not you and your friends. If it's for the sake of security, like I mentioned earlier, make sure he comes pick you up and then he takes you home, and that security is sorted. And with the guys, please show up with a lot of effort. We the girls, we put in a lot of effort. So you guys should also show up, making us look that, yes, you really took this date seriously. Don't just come up looking with slippers or with something. Don't do that. Yeah. Please also show us that you're putting it a lot of effort. And I think these little things, like Francis clearly said, just it comes together to start a beautiful relationship. All right. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Well, if I'll add my 2 cents, I would say if you don't want to give it up on a first date, ladies, you can still close it up. Yeah, because some people maybe they come in, they'll never show up, they'll ghost you. That's the word. They will ghost you. So if you're not in for it and he wants to be also touchy and, you know, let's do the sex on the first date thing, let your no be your no, unless maybe you got the vibe and you want to do it. That's your personal decision. And I would say always have some cash on you, ladies. You never know. Maybe the person will upset you and now you're thinking, where am I going to get money to? That's why you stay throughout the whole boring date. So always have cash on you. You never know. You never know. I must say special thanks to you, Z, for gracing my set, and Francis. You said you're going to tell me the Bamidele thing, so tell me. I think I forgot. Don't try me.
Okay. So I didn't know Bamidele was a name. It was like my favorite song for some time by Asha.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. So it was my favorite song, and I got to know it was. And it wasn't my name. I just used it as my handle, and then people started calling me Bamdele.
All
and
right.
Now it's
you like it.
official or something like that.
Please put out your official social media handles on that note.
You can find me on Instagram at @zisahak, which is ZEE_ISSAHK. On Facebook, my notorious ass is over there, Zainatu Erebon Isahak. And on Twitter, Zainat_Isahak.
Okay.
And my you can find me on Instagram at @bamidele__GH.
Okay.
On Facebook, Francis Asong Boateng, and then on Twitter as Kwesi Asong.
All right. Do get interactive with them. They got really nice content on their social media platforms. And remember, the name is Paula Amabruni. It was a pleasure doing today's discussion with you. We'll be back again with yet another exciting conversation. See you later.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. People got sending me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and left me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I am something. Instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Yes, we cited the draft. Thank you.
All right, so let's go to the last one, Samson, paragraph 1924.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think mine is a build-up from Deputy Rankin, and it looks like the need to sustain the future of trust. And the auditors, they came out with so many issues. The first one is about the reduction of the contribution rate from 17.5 to 11%. They also talked of investment. So this one I will just one without going through all these things. Since the Chief Executive, you are here, can you tell us how the future of your organization, looking at all these issues that they've raised?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes, it is true that when the new law came in, which is Act 766, the contribution rate coming to SNIT was reduced. We went from 17.5% to 11%, 13.5%. And there were some commensurate, what was supposed to be commensurate reduction in benefits. But it became clear that the contribution rate that we are taking now needs to be looked at. The auditors, the actuaries, the
External actuaries recommended that the contribution rate should be moved up to 19.2% in the short to medium term for increased sustainability. Honorable Chair, what we've done about that is, you see, because our accounts are prepared on a cash basis,
any arrears that needs to be collected is not factored into these projections. And also, we also need to take a look at, for example, our investments. You know, today we've talked a lot about investments. We've been able to streamline those investments, and increasing return will also help reduce how much we have to change the contribution rates by. And then even in our operations, the way we we control our costs. And I think the audit report today is showing that we actually have embarked on a cost control measure in terms of administrative costs, and also how we mobilize additional revenue, which is, and you may have heard that SNIT is now embarking on a nationwide campaign to enroll the self-employed, to let everybody know, worker in Ghana know that they can join SNIT. So we are taking all these actions, one, to increase revenue, two, to rebalance our investment portfolio and basically monetize non-performing investments, and three, to rationalize our cost base. And the last one which we've done is try to use automation, to automate a lot of our operations so that we can reduce costs and rationalize and get benefits from rationalize our human capital. So, Mr. Chairman, all these things together are what we are doing to make sure that the long-term sustainability of the trust is enhanced. Mr. Chairman, that's how I would answer for now.
I agree with that, but the auditors are also complaining that there are three key components of the trust investment portfolio, that is land, property, loans, and equity investment. It's gone down from 17% to 16%, and is a source of worry. And that, if care is not taken, you will be using more than 90% of your to pay pension payment will be more than 90%, which you are likely to go into your investment, probably redeem any of these investment portfolios. So what are you also doing to increase, especially the investment? The investment is where I'm worried about. Because the land, the properties, we are seeing that almost all the properties are under litigation. And then you look at the loans too, we don't know how the loans, you can easily get even a loan today or tomorrow. And then for equity investment, you know, you and I will agree with me that for equity investment, it's not something that you can easily put your hand on. So how best are you looking at those three areas? How best are you doing to improve on that?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Chairman, the issue that the Honorable Member is talking about are actually the issues we've been talking about today. Things about land, you can see that we are trying to rationalize them. The properties that we have are the ones that we are trying to also monetize so that we can put those monies into better performing investments. And then the loans that you are talking about are the ones that we have been talking about today, which we're trying to do recoveries. And when we get those recoveries, then we'll deploy them into other investments that will be better performing. But, Mr. Chairman, I would like to state that what we've been talking about here today is a small section of the total investment portfolio. The total investment portfolio is north of 10 billion. And the ones we are talking about here, call it maybe 1 or 2 billion, or even less than that. Less than that. So that's about maybe 5% of the total investment portfolio we are talking about. So there is an investment portfolio that will fall on. It's just that we need to optimize those investments. But, Mr. Chairman, the 90% that you are talking about, which is the collections that we were using to pay benefits, that amount comes out because of what I mentioned as shortfalls in collections of contributions. So when we do collect those contributions, then the percentage would increase dramatically. And the other way in which we're going to also increase that is to expand coverage. And that is the path that we have embarked on, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Do you have, just for the benefit of, just the last one, small one. Director, can you just...
He can't.
Put it off. I was just going to say that it said a better investment portfolio. I just want to know whether today, can he just suggest a particular one area that he thinks it will be better to invest in Ghana today, so that we all know. Yes. That I hope you heard me very well. I said that like you are redeeming other areas to invest somewhere, better investment portfolio. So I'm saying that can you just give us only one, so that we all know, so that we can all go into that. Now that we have so many headcuts in so many areas, where do you think it's better today to invest your money?
Mr. Chairman, at the moment we are busy trying to monetize our investments. So that's our focus. Once we get the cash, then we'll look at what the investment landscape looks like, and then we'll see where we'll deploy them.
Honourable members, we have come to the end of the issues involving SNIT, but I must say that, Minister, you have to help the SNIT. There are a lot of issues that need attention. So you have to help them. I know they are capable of doing the work, but at least now that they are officially under you, you also have to add and support them. And earlier on, I make a ruling that in order for Intercity STC Limited to be profitable and for them to be able to pay their loans and make return on the investment by SNIT, Ministry of Transport should allow them to fix their own rates, looking into the markets. If the private operators are fixing their own rate and they're making profits, at least that we should also allow them so that they can compete with the private operators. In that way, they'll also be able to make profits. So Clark, take note of that. We'll make that recommendations so that they can become profitable and pay their loans. On that note, you are discharged. Honourable members, let's have Government Technical Training Center. Have you been sworn in? Okay, yes, introduce please. Yourself.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Emmanuel Kwafu. I am currently the principal for Government Technical Institute, formerly known as Government Technical Training Center. This is as a result of the migration of the school onto the Ghana TV service as a result of the passage of the Act 1049, the Pre-Education Act.
All right. You have been cited for not keeping advances ledgers. And for that matter, there's advance of 18,170 that you have given. The lists have been provided in the report. The auditors recommended that to ensure that the debtors ledger is maintained by the accountant, which will detail the amount due and payable by the staff debtors. Do you have the debtors ledger now?
Yes, please, we have the debtors ledger.
Auditors, can you confirm that they have debtors ledger?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, we don't have evidence to that effect.
You don't have the evidence. Do you have it here?
Yes, please.
You should have given it to auditors to verify long before coming here.
Oh, okay. Then it was a mistake.
All right, so we'll ask auditors to verify and confirm.
Okay.
Now, this 18,170, which is advances granted to staff, have they paid back? Have you recovered the money from them?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The last time I came here, that was in...
Honorable members, order.
The last time I appeared before this August House, I did explain that that amount that was listed or stated as amount that were advances given to staff members. Actually, those people who were listed as Scania staff were people that we contracted, and they performed some duties for us. But because as at that time, we didn't have enough money in our coffers, we just gave them part of their money. And it was the advances that were given to him. Actually, those staff members who took loans or advances, we've been able to recoup some of the money.
So out of the 18,170, which portion or how much of that is for staff advances?
Please.
And how much have you recovered from that one?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, the amount that is due for the staff members is 7,300, and then the rest was the advances that were given to the Scania staff as part payment of money that we were due to have given them.
So, auditors, we want you to go back, work in line with the information being provided here.
Yeah.
That out of the total amount of 18, 7,000 plus is actually for staff advances.
Yes.
The balance, which is about 10,000 plus, is for payment that they made to the Scania staff.
Yes.
So in that case, once they are not staff of the institute, that treatment should be made as an expenditure.
Yeah.
But you need to verify to confirm the information that he provides.
Thank you, sir.
Your other one is on earned salary, 5,096 Ghana cedis. And that one, the names have been provided.
Yes.
Lai Edward Tete.
Yeah.
Azekojo Okran. Atagi Okran. And then Sherifatu Mumuni. Have you recovered the money from these people?
Honorable Chairman, this morning we had a call from Mr. Isaac Okran. He wanted us to furnish him with the account into which he's supposed to pay that unearned salary. And so my accountant will be going to controller. He is a controller staff, so that he can get me the actual account number, so that by tomorrow Mr. Okran can pay it in. The other two, ever since that I wrote to them, through the last mailing address or contact on file, we have not received any response from them.
No, Okran is owing 2,400.
Actually, we brought the PVs for that period. He's owing only 1 month. He was paid in April. And he was not paid in May.
So the auditor need to...
Yes, I have
confirm that one.
Yes, yeah.
So it's left with Edward Tete
and then Sherifa Tumumuni.
Sherifa Tumumuni.
Yes, please.
And they are not responding.
Yes, please.
If they are in Ghana, I'm sure somebody is listening to us and watching us.
Yeah.
So they should be informed that it will be better for them to go, to come to the institute to pay the money, or ask for the bank details so that they can pay the money to government chest.
Thank you.
And we are giving them 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you have not received any information from them, you can report the case to the police.
Okay,
so
sir.
the police will look for them.
Okay, sir. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I think this one, I don't know how I'm going to put it, but I want to be very blank. On this issue of unearned salary, please, this is Parliament, and I want to put it before this House, that if there is ample evidence to indicate that the spending officer or the head of the institution did write to controller that this person has resigned, that this person is on retirement, and then controller still goes on to pay the person, the bankers too have been written to that this person is no more with us, and they receive the money, and then the person goes and then they give the money to the person. Then eventually the head of the institution, honestly, when this incident took place, I was not nearer to the hierarchy, that's the top hierarchy. But today I find myself here answering. I was here in 2020 on this same issue, and your directive was that I should write, and I've written, and I've appeared here again.
Now, the question you ask, or the information you are providing, if there is evidence that you wrote to controller, you wrote to controller.
We wrote to controller.
And you provide evidence. Yes. It's not a matter of just showing us a letter that you wrote to controller. There must evidence that the letter was received by controller. Then we can shift the blame to controller for they not acting on it. But if there's no evidence to that effect, we'll have to hold you responsible. So in that case, you must provide evidence that yes, you have written to controller, the letter was received, stamped as having been received by controller. In fact, you must even have your letter dispatch book, to which whoever received the letter at controller office will indicate there. Then you will exonerate yourself. Then we can push it to the others. Okay? So you are discharged.
Thank you
Let's
very much.
have EXIM Bank.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Have you taken the oath already? Not yet.
We have.
You have?
Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
All right. So, EXIM Bank. Paragraph 2164. Now, kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Lawrence Ajinsam, the Chief Executive Officer of EXIM Bank.
Honorable Chair, my name is Nanecha Obeying-Edia, Deputy CEO, Finance and Administration.
Honorable Chair, I'm Patrick Insianyabwa, Head of Risk Management Department.
Honorable Chair, I'm Priscilla Budu, Head Legal.
Honorable Chair, my name is Isaac Emisaidu, Head Finance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Solomon Ni Amonko Tijani, Head Internal Audit.
All right, thank you for coming. All right, so we'll start with you, paragraph 2164. It's actually on your operational results. What happened before your interest income increased by 172% in 2019? What resulted in that?
Honorable Chair, I will yield to the General Manager of Finance to answer the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, EXIM Bank, prior to its becoming EXIM Bank, was lending through DFIs. So our interest rate was 2.5%. But effectively, after 2016, we became EXIM Bank and we started lending directly to customers. Our rate of interest rates between 5% to about 15%. And if you look at the growth in our assets from 1108 to 1250, we started growing the assets rapidly, especially under the 1D, 1F program. So it led to a rapid increase in our revenues relative to the previously, because now our interest rate has grown over fourfold. Thank you, sir.
You mentioned 1D, 1F, 1 district, 1 factory. So it means that you lend to companies that build the factories, or who do you lend to?
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. We lend to the general public who are exporters as per the law requires, and also those who are into import substitution. Those are the...
He mentioned 1D, 1F. So I want to know, how does your
Honorable Chair,
loan portfolio increase in terms of the 1D, 1F?
Honorable Chair, as I did indicate, as a bank, the Ghanaian people, as per the Act, has stipulated about 25 functions. And with it, we are supposed to support industries, we are supposed to support SMEs, and out of which some of it came from the diverse group of people.
I agree with you. Okay? When the law was being passed, I was there as the chairman of the finance committee, so I know much about this. Okay? I'm asking the manager, finance or accounts mentioned 1D, 1F. I want to know who received the loans in relation to 1D, 1F.
Honorable Chair, in our portfolio, if I can recall, we have a COMFI which is described as 1D, 1F. We have Wedi Africa. We have Casa de Europa. We have some of the industries that were a bit under stress, like Joabin Oil, Caltech. All of these have been supported as per the mandate.
Yeah, so it is clear that EXIM supported companies that are within that category for 1D, 1F. And it is not a bad thing, okay? I'm not asking it because of anything, so don't be hesitant in providing the answers. Now, if you provide this support in 2019 or even 2018, especially for 1D, 1F, when did they start repaying back or start paying the interest on the loan? Because the effect cannot be just 1 year, within 1 year. Because if it's a factory that they are going to build with the money, at least it will take some time to build a factory. Then when they start operation, before they can start paying the interest and together with the principal. Why should that have effect for you to increase your interest income by 172% in 1 year?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. When the law came into being in 2016, there were existing portfolio. And again, we also charge for processing and commitment fee. We also advance money to what we call brownfield. The pharmaceutical companies that we finance were already brownfield. And some of them had moratorium, 6 months, some 1 year, and some 2 years. So it's a mixture of portfolio.
All right. That is good. If your interest income alone is yielding so much. Is the interest income alone the only source of revenue to the bank?
Honorable Chair, no. We do also, as the Act requires, receive 0.75 from non-oil levies.
Where is that reflected in the statements? Because your revenue aspect have interest income, fees and commission, net trade income, and other operating income. Which of these that per the Act, the levy, is it 0.75?
0.75.
0.75.
Of which 10% is given to GEPA.
Yes. And even that one, we have a problem. We want to amend the law so that you don't collect the money before you give it to GEPA. So that GRA can collect the money, do the distribution, pay you directly your portion, 90%, and then give 10% to GEPA.
Honorable Chair, I think that will be fine with us.
Yes. So show me where that one is.
I would yield to the finance director to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, the
50% of that inflows is in other liabilities, and then 50% is treated as revenue, Mr. Chairman.
Which of the revenue item that is reflecting that 50% you're talking about? If it's 50% is in liabilities, before you can recognize in liability, you have to recognize as revenue.
Okay. So
100% might be recognized as revenue.
Okay. Mr. Chairman.
But because you have not collected all, 50 can remain in liabilities as debts.
Mr. Chairman, it's in the interest income.
What should it be the interest income?
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, as a bank, we report under IFRS 9, and when you are giving facilities whose rates are below the market rate, you need to mark your lending rates to the market. So, as part of accounting for government revenue, a portion of the interest of the levies is then treated as, because we are lending at 5%, part of the interest at 2.5%. So a portion of the revenue is used to top up so that we are at par. The other leg, 50%, goes into government funding, which is in other liabilities.
It's difficult to understand you. We're in the same profession. We're in the same profession. You're an accountant, I'm an accountant. If you're saying that because you are lending at a lower rate, using the International Financial Reporting Standard 9, and for that matter, you want to soar up your interest income so that you can match the standard. Yet, it means that you are burying the commission there. You are taking the commission income, adding it to the interest income, so that you can show big, as if that is what you are receiving from the interest income. Is that the point you are making?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
The levies is actually, that's the aim, so that we can lend at a very low rate to support the very important sectors of the economy. So we lend at such a low rate, but we've taken, for you to report as a bank, you need to, with a certain level of portfolio. If you see my portfolio, 1 billion, and I'm earning 25,000, and then you see another bank's 1 billion, and he's earning 125,000. You can't compare. So it's the same way when banks lend to their staff at a lower rate. When they are reporting their IFRS, they bring that one up so that difference, they show it in their cost, because it's a cost to them. So basically, that's how banks report under IFRS.
So if I take your financial statement, I will not see any income that will be in the form of the levy, or I'll see it.
If you were to take the detailed financial statements,
yes,
what goes into the interest income line are 3 items.
Okay.
Interest income from the loans. Our, like the chief executive said, any surplus funds we place on the markets. So interest income from our investment plus the levies.
Okay, that is what I want to know.
Yes, please.
That if somebody take the details, the person will know that this is a portion that relates to the levy.
Exactly.
That's all.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to paragraph 2172, Deputy Ranking.
Thank you very much, Chairman. This has to do with recovery challenges of export finance and then protect loan. And the amount here is 27,646,519.85. So when EXIM was established, what happened to Export Finance Company? Is it still in existence?
Thank you very much. The Export Finance Company, EXIM Guarantee, and EDIF has merged to become EXIM. But the legal procedure for it to happen has taken a bit of a time until last year that we've been able to bring closure to that chapter. So those MPTEC loan, as you may recall, started 2001. It is part of what has been inherited, and to date, we've been able to recover 445, 410 out of the 27 million. Some of these companies are either non-existent or are complaining of COVID issues that they are not able to repay. Some have folded up. But those that are working, we are constantly on them to recover.
So, in an audit of the companies that owe, I mean, companies that receive these monies from Export Finance and MPTEC, how many of them are currently in existence?
I need to come back on that, but a greater majority are not in existence. Those that are in existence are also requesting for us to convert it into a grant, of which the current management and board don't have the capacity to do that. But we are going to write to the Ministry of Finance, then to come back to Parliament for us to be able to either bring closure to some of these loans.
All right. Auditors, can you confirm the recovery as mentioned by the Chief Executive?
Mr. Chairman, we have verified payments of 445,410 cedis and then 1,575,000. So the balance left is 25,626,109.85.
Well, this is less than 5% of how much they owe. So please, let's take steps. I know most of these companies may be SMEs and may have challenges, but do a proper audit of it. Let the auditors know and take steps. If in your estimation you feel that we need to convert these loans to grants, kindly fast track it so that it does not appear in the books. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to paragraph 2182, Honorable Roxanne.
Chairman, thank you very much. EXIM, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
The auditors established that sometime between 2012 and 2017, 3 of your staffs who were aggrieved as a result of some termination went to court, got some judgment debt, and as a result of the judgment debt, you have had to pay some monies to them pursuant to the court orders in respect of those 3 cases. And they established that in breach of section 117 subsection 1 of the Income Tax Act, you failed to withhold tax, and the taxes involved in respect of this payment were in excess of 588,000. I want to find out, 1st February 2023, have you taken steps to recover these monies out of the judgment debt that you paid to them, and accordingly paid to GRA in pursuit of the law?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The case went to court. First judgment went in favor of the Attorney General. It was later the 3 people went back to
CEO. You know, that's why I didn't want us to go into that.
So it's been paid. It's been paid.
No. My issue is that have you been able to retrieve the taxes?
The taxes were withheld by us as a bank, and then we have paid to GRA.
So, ipso facto, the finding of the auditors, you've gone ahead to pay to GRA?
Yes, please.
Okay, auditor, have you brought this to the attention of the auditors?
The auditors have.
Auditors, can you confirm this?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we have verified GRA receipt dated 5th August 2022 for full payment of the amount to GRA.
How much is that?
588,259.01.
Wonderful. Now, the other issue is in respect of some overdue loans. It's a tall list, about 100 million Ghana cedis. Now, sorry. Oh, it's yours. Okay, Chairman, that will be all. I hear I've intruded.
Thank you, Chairman. Over 100 million Ghana cedis is owned by some banks to you. Among them, National Investment Bank, First Atlantic Merchant Bank, Stanbic Bank, Ghana Commercial Bank, almost every bank, Amalgamated Bank, Car Bank, UT Bank, Eco Bank. The total outstanding loans is 100.6 million. The auditors recommend that these are overdue loans. So, what have you been able to recover since the audit?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm happy to announce that since the audit, we've recovered 47,090,968 from the DFIs.
What is left now?
What is left is about 55,041.742.
You know, these loans were overdue as at the time of audit in 2019, probably. And we are in 2023. So, when you say you are happy to have recovered that, I'm not happy. I expect I should have recovered all, and with interest.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think it will be, again, for everybody to be happy to collect 100%. However, these were monies that were done indirectly by us through the DFIs. And we are in talks with the DFIs. Then EDIF signed an MOU with the banks through BOG. We went to BOG, and BOG requested of us to have an alternative resolution by going to the banks and negotiate. Some of these loans had to be restructured, and then we've been able to recover 47. And now most of these ones are also with lawyers that we need to go to court and then continue the process. Thank you very much.
I thought these were straightforward issues. Why are they with lawyers?
They have defaulted in the banks. It was not directly. We are not directly in touch with these customers, because in the past the model was to disburse through the banks. So
Yeah.
Some of them have collapsed. Some of them can't pay. So the assets are being attached, so that either the assets will be sold for us to have our money. That is why the process has been a bit long.
You were learning through the banks. And my understanding is that you are supposed to be paid by the banks, not those that the banks are lended to. So I don't understand why these vibrant banks are still not paying your money. And then you are saying that some of the companies have collapsed. That is not your business.
The banks were supposed to recover we on-lend to the banks. We were on-lending to the banks, and the banks then lend to these customers. So when the banks do disburse to these customers, the customers have to repay the banks, and the banks then will repay us. So when some of the people or some of the customers has become, as it were, bad customers or bad loans, the banks then will have to, but it's a question of enforceability with the MOUs. The MOUs, as we approach BOG, as at the time the discussion was that, go talk to them. We are going to go back to BOG and then have another discussion of how those MOU can be enforced. Because as per the MOU, the BOG were supposed to deduct a source when the banks default, but that has not happened.
I'm not satisfied, but I'm done.
Let's go to paragraph 91, 2196. Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We are talking about absence of fraud risk assessment and risk register. What is the status of it now?
Honorable Chair, again, we have been able to do that, and we've given information to the Auditor General.
Can the auditors confirm that, please?
Mr. Chairman, we can confirm that that has been done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Yusuf.
Chairman, thank you. Chairman, you know, I worked with EXIM Bank and hitherto, what is it called? EDIF. And so I appreciate all that is going on. CEO, I want to go back to this issue of designated financial institutions not paying their loans as and when they are due. Your law allows you to trigger a situation where Bank of Ghana will debit them. So the default risk is not on you. The law is clear. The law says that in the event that these designated financial institutions fail to pay, all you need to do is to go to Bank of Ghana and make reference to the law. And then the accounts will be, monies will be transferred to pay you because they have some monies with the banks. When you don't do that, the effect of it is that your position will be weak. Meanwhile, you need money to lend to a lot of exporters and SMEs. And so if you want to say that we're going to give them that opportunity to do whatever they want to do and come and pay because the people they on-lend to are not paying, I have a problem with that. And so if there's a way you can ensure that you get your money to make the position of the bank solid so that you can lend to customers and achieve your target, we should rather be looking at that. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, point well noted, and we take consideration of the fact that the former staff, now Honorable, has given us advice, and we will consult him to help us to recover. Thank you.
Yeah, they said they are even okay with that. If GRA can do the sharing and pay them their 90% directly, and pay GEPA the 10%, they'll be okay with that. He said it.
So what we are saying that the law is also clear on that. Instead of you to wait for the money to hit your account before you transfer it to Ghana Export Promotion Authority, the law says that the money from GRA should be given to them direct. The effect is that when it goes to you, it's treated as revenue to you, okay? Or whatever you treat it, because it's treated in your books. What we have come to realize that when they came for the budget hearing, how to treat the component that they were supposed to get became problematic. And we have to even go to the floor to find a way of amending their budget. So we want to cure it. And that's why we're saying that going forward, ensure that you don't go take the money from them so that they will not be writing to you asking for it. Leave the money with GRA. GRA should take the money direct to them. I'm talking about the 10% of the inflows that you get. Then you keep your 90%. Because the law is clear, we look at the law. Thank you.
Honorable, we are guided by your suggestions and we'll act accordingly.
All right, so that'll be all for EXIM Bank. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Now let's have Ghana Post Company Limited. Honorable members, order. Order, order.
I'm sorry.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Amapomabu Ating, MP for Drabin constituency and the Deputy Minister for Communications and Digitalization. I'm here with the Ghana Post team and I'll ask them to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Honorable members, order.
Honorable Chair, my name is Bias Osei Kufuor. I'm the Managing Director of Ghana Post Company Limited, aka Obo.
Chairman, he says aka Obo. I want to find out, is this the Obo who was who? Because right now, without dreadlocks, who cry?
Honorable Chairman, my name is Kwekute Biamponsan, Deputy Managing Director, Finance and Administration.
Honorable Chair, my name is Eric Kofi GM Finance.
My name is Idris Uchanko, Finance.
My name is Isaac Mama, General Manager, Audit and Compliance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Benadia Atasuno, General Manager, Commercial and Business Development. Thank you.
Welcome. Sorry for keeping you long. And it's not that we left you here, we are all here together. So thank you very much for waiting. We'll go straight to paragraph 1600, Honorable Dakwa.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. So looking at your income statement for the year ended 31st December
2018. The only issue I have there has to do with your increase in expenditure from about 60 million to about 64 million between the 2 years. Can you tell me what accounted for that increase? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I would ask the MD to respond to this, please.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. Honorable Chair, Ghana Post has been on a rise to do better than it has been doing in the past, and the years 2018 into 2019 has been among the years that we have striven to work harder so that we can increase revenue. In the same vein, we had some major projects that required that the organization spends a bit more. In the years in review, we were working on the Ghana Post GPS project, where we're doing the house numbering and several other things. That revenue would come in the years that will be ensuing and not necessarily that same year. And so that may be among the reasons why we had more cost or more cost other than the revenue that we gained. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, so long as the cost is yielding revenue, I think we should see that. But from here, I see your current ratio between the years didn't improve. Okay, so the auditors have noted that you are still not in a position to settle your short-term liabilities as and when they fall due. Can you tell us how you are going to be able to do this with your current ratio being 0.7:1? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I would like my Deputy Managing Director in charge of Finance and Administration take this one.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In respect of being able to meet our short-term liabilities, I'd like to say that we are coming from a period where we had quite some legacy debts. So some of these things weigh us down, and we've had to, at any point in time, try to service both old debt and existing debts. Okay, but over the period, we've tried to clear them, and I think we are now in a good position.
Now in a good position to settle your debts, from what you're saying, all right?
You were asking about current liabilities, yes, compared to previous years.
All right, thank you, Chairman. That will be all for me.
Let's go to the next one. Honorable Yusuf, paragraph 1610.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, the infraction there has to do with unrecovered debt owed the company. Your board failed to ensure that monies due you are collected. And so an amount of 1,511,431.83 Ghana cedi at the time of audit hadn't been paid. I want to find out whether you've been able to recover all these monies.
Honorable Chairman, respectfully, this is part of our monthly receivables. Okay, so at the end of the year, we'll have amounts like this outstanding, and it is cleared within a month or two. As we speak, this has been received. These monies have been received by Ghana Post.
So was it just for a month that was outstanding?
Not just a month, averagely a month and a half.
So when was this money received or paid?
They will normally be paid within 2 months, averagely.
Did you explain this to auditors so that it doesn't become an audit issue? If that's the arrangement, that always you have a month or 2 weeks interval for them to be paid, I don't think it should become an audit issue and to be featured here. Because when I looked at some of the organizations, I realized that they can pay. These are banks, very solid institutions that shouldn't be owing you. Okay, so if you can discuss it with the auditors. Auditors, can you confirm that the money was paid at the right time?
Honorable Chair, within that time, their debt recovery was not all that good, but it was recovered within the year. But as time goes on and the bills are generated, they do recover within the time period. But as at that time, it was not recovered within the time period. But as we speak now, all have been recovered. Thank you.
Okay, so Chairman, they've recovered the loan, and the issue is that normally they give some space for the clients to come and pay, and so it's not as if it's a very serious matter if they can discuss it with the auditor so that it doesn't become a recurring audit issue. It will help all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. As a going concern, a company going concern, definitely at the end of the year, there will be recoverables. There will be payable as well. But as said by the audit service, is the debt recovery that matters. If the recovery rate is good, then it will not be an audit issue. It is when we come bad that we can talk about it. What do we do to make it work well? So it's good that these have been recovered. New ones have been accrued. So let's just move to the next one. Honorable Chinia, paragraph 1615.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Your infraction here is payment for work not done to Matt and Associates. Section 7 of Public Financial Management Act 2016 requires that a spending officer to ensure regularity and proper use of money appropriated in that covered entity. But in this case, you paid an amount of 48,625 cedis to Matt and Associate. But at the point of auditing, it was observed that there was no contract between your company and Matt and Associate.
Mr. Chair, the MD would have his comments for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the infraction based on the notification sent to us from the Auditor General and from your committee was more on the fact that we paid them for no work done. And based on our correspondences and our interactions with the auditors, we've been able to show them proof of the work that Matt and Associates did. And so that infraction, I believe we've been able to clear it out with the auditors.
I think there were two issues they pointed out. One is that you didn't have a signed contract between your company and the people who worked for you, but you went ahead to pay. So are you suggesting that you be able to provide a signed contract?
Mr. Chairman, indeed there was a signed contract, and we'll be able to show it up if it should come up. Yeah. So we've shown it to the auditors. Yes, we've shown it to the auditors.
Okay, auditors, can you confirm that they have shown to you a signed contract between Ghana Post and Matt and Associates?
Honorable Chair, yes. And we also had a report from the supplier, that's the contractor, indicating the length of the services that were provided for Ghana Post. Thank you.
So it means there is evidence, audit service. So there is evidence to the effect that the 48,000 that was paid was properly paid.
Honorable Chair, yes, confirmed.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable. So let's go to paragraph 1621, Honorable Sophia.
1621. Thank you, Chairman. Your infraction here has to do with failure to transfer pay deducted That is 3,447,961.45. And on paragraph 1622, the table here shows that management unremitted pay is 357,455.92. And then senior staff is 542,012.43. And junior staff is 202,548,493.10. Now, auditors recommend that you ensure that the total tax of 3,447,961.45 is paid to GRA as soon as possible. And also make sure that appropriate measures are put in place to ensure that pay deducted are paid on time. Have you done that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, it's true, 2018 we had this issue. We had some cash flow issues, so we went into an arrangement with GRA, and we've been able to show the auditors all the correspondences between us and GRA where we had a payment plan, and we've been paying this arrears over the years, and it's been cleared.
Meaning you've cleared all?
Yes, we have.
Auditors, please, can you confirm if they have cleared it?
Honorable Chair, we confirmed that they paid. And even because of the payment plan that they had, as at the time that we went for the verification, that is on the April 2021, the money paid was over even 4 million has been paid to GRA. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Congratulations.
So, paragraph 1626, Honorable Akwesi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this has to do with some uncompetitive procurement. But I would, however, want to jump to the recommendation of the auditors. The auditors recommended that henceforth approval should be sought from PPA, but most importantly, they recommended that you reprimand the officer in charge who fell foul or engaged in this uncompetitive procurement. Have you done that?
The deputy would respond to that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In 2018, the company's position was that we were a limited liability company and we were under the Companies Act. Honorable Chair, please, the person as part of the management reduced the person's rank and moved the person from that role.
Mr. Chairman, the person's rank has been reduced and therefore it made the reprimand has been done. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Chairman, I see some inconsistency in some of these issues. Mostly at the assembly level, issues relating to procurement breaches, we refer them to courts. Now there's another breach that relates to procurement, and we think that reprimanding the person is enough. I have some challenge. If we want to be consistent, it is a breach of the law. It doesn't even matter the quantum involved. If I steal a goat of a poor person, and you also steal 10,000 of a rich person, it's the same crime. And so, Chairman, I just want to raise my reservation
Thank you.
Honorable members, let's read paragraph 1626, section 43(1) of Public Procurement Act 2003 at 63, as amended, requires that the procurement entity shall request quotations from as many suppliers or contractors as practicable but from at least 3 different sources. Now, 1627, we however noted that management made purchases amounting to 266,110.54 on 18 payment vouchers without obtaining alternative quotations from other sources, thereby defeating the purpose of ensuring value for money. So if you read the two together, there is a breach of the Act. Okay? Based on that, we are referring it to court.
Mr. Chairman, we thank you for this, but I think Ghana Post used the recommendations from the auditors.
Yeah, so, I've seen the recommendation.
Yes.
It said that we also urge that the procurement officer be reprimanded. So the reprimand means what? Yes, additional punishment. So we are referring
we
to
only
court.
saw that one. Yes.
Honorable members, are you challenging my chairmanship?
No, please.
So, clerk, add Ghana Post to the list. Yes, I'm not good at using hammer. Let's move to the. So, clerk, add the list. Add it to the list. Sorry. Paragraph 1631. Alice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this particular issue has to do with Ghana Post Company operating without an enabling act. The auditors have realized that Act 469/2003, which is the Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission Act, which came into force on the 10th of August 2003 and replaced the Ghana Postal Services Corporations Act 1995, Act 505, is silent on the role or mandate of the Ghana Post Company Limited. And it has given the Ghana Post Company Limited an exclusive right of reserved postal services. The auditors advised that the Ghana Post Company Limited should liaise with the sector ministry and also the legislative drafting division of the Attorney General's Department for the law to be amended. In the first place, let me find out from the Ghana Post Company Limited as to whether management and the board did the necessary due diligence when that law was being promulgated. The Act 4, the Assis 49 was being promulgated. What did you do? Did you do due diligence to find out as to whether it was going to affect your functions? That's the number one. Then number two, I also want to know whether you have taken seriously the recommendation by the auditors, and what have you done so far?
Mr. Chairman, from my experience at the ministry, I know that all these laws are being reviewed because with all the new technological trends, new laws have to be passed. So we have consultants working to make sure that all these laws are reviewed, and Ghana Post and the Postal and Courier Services laws are part of that. So very soon, I'm sure before we get here the next time, if we should, we will tell a different story to what you have now.
Auditors, are you aware or can you confirm that such efforts are being made at the ministry level to ensure that this law is amended to allow Ghana Post Company to operate as it should be?
Honorable Chair, the process is ongoing, but it's not finalized. Thank you.
Chairman, that is what we are being told.
All right, so we'll move to the next one, paragraph 1640. It's actually on reports on regional offices, unsupported, unaccounted payment vouchers, totaling 956,170.48 Ghana cedis. And the list of the regions are there: Ashanti region, Central, Eastern, Greater Accra East, Greater Accra West, Volta, Brong-Ahafo, Northern, and Western. They are the unsupported PVs, totaling 750 Ghana cedis. Then unaccounted for expenditure, Ashanti region, Brong-Ahafo, Greater Accra East, Greater Accra West, and Northern region. Now, the auditors recommended that affected regional managements should ensure that the payments were properly accounted for by providing the relevant supporting documents. Failure, which the amount involved will be recovered from the authorizing and approving officers. Have they properly accounted for these expenditures?
Mr. Chairman, for the regional offices, Mr. Tebi would respond to that.
Thank you. Honorable Chairman, in respect of the unsupported PVs, so far the regional team have been able to clear, and it's left with about 58,000 to go. And when you take the unaccounted, it is left with about 24,000, and the different it's because of mishap of documentation. So between the time the auditors came and now, other documents have been made ready for the auditors to come and review, or additional documents have been made ready for the auditors to review.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable, as at the time that we went for the status report, out of the 750,311.29, the outstanding was 58,474.70 Ghana cedis, and then the unsupported of the 205,859.19, 24,446 was outstanding. Thank you.
Are you saying that you have the supporting document now for those outstanding ones? The figures. Do you have the supporting document now?
Yes, please.
And are they here or they're in the regions?
They are here in Accra.
All right, so auditors, you go and have a look at them, and then you can confirm that for us. The next one is paragraph 1645, Honorable Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Accommodation expenditure not accounted for. This has to do with your head office, your regional office, Volta region. One, Mr. Banadiata, did not account for 9,540. You were asked to follow up and make sure that the money is paid, else the acting regional head should be made on the money. Have you done that?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Please, as we speak, the documents are ready for review by the auditors.
This is not good enough. The documents are now ready.
Yes, please.
For review.
They are now available.
They were not ready. They are now ready.
No, they are not available.
2019, you are telling me that they are now ready. Is it because you are coming for this committee, you are appearing that you now made the documents ready? So all along the documents were not ready.
Honorable Chairman, as I indicated earlier, because of movement of documentation, some of them got messed up. But this is available now for review by the auditors.
That was what you didn't tell me, that there was a movement. You said they are now ready. My problem is about the now. These are just 9,500. You get the document for 2 years, 3 years today, 4 years. Hotel accommodation. I think the best thing is for you to refund the money, because this document, I don't know how the document can be ready now. Chairman. Oh, Chairman, the documents are now ready. So, okay.
Where's Mr. Bernard? Yao Atasunu. You are the one. And you are the acting regional head for the Volta region, right? So, why are you now providing the documents?
Honorable Chair, it had been provided was to the Finance Directorate.
When did you provide it?
After the management letter was issued. I had already submitted it to them, but it must have mixed up with other documents.
When was that? When was the management letter issued?
Unfortunately, I cannot. I may have to refer to.
So you submitted it to the head office?
Yes.
So head office, why were you keeping the document since then? After the management letter.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is that I think the originals got missing, so it took them a while to get the regional officers to bring in additional copies. So that's why.
So it means that what they have now is not the original.
Yes.
It is a photocopy.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yeah. Okay. So, Honorable Chairman.
Is that the case? What you have now, is it the photocopy that was resubmitted from the region?
Yes, please.
So actually, it's the head office that misplaced the original. So if I want to search out somebody, I'll search out the head office. Yes, it's the head office I'll search out. Because you confirm that the original has been submitted to head office and it got missing. It got missing. So we can't blame the region.
Mr. Chairman, we admit that it's Accra that got the receipts missing, so we accept the blame.
This one, Obo can pay it. It's just 9,000. 9,500. So recovery should be made from the head office, 9,540. Clerk. Let's go to paragraph 1650. Loss to company resulting from expired driver's license. Hey. Now, the auditors noted that Greater Accra East Office, an internal memo of the company dated 7th May 2018, written by Mr. Stephen Lawe, a principal transport officer, that he was assigned a normal door-to-door duty with a company motorbike with registration number M17477. He was involved in an accident with a Nissan Almera with registration number GN 392814 around Hotel at Community 4, Tema, on 31st March 2018. Now, a further review indicated that the case was reported to Tema Community 1 police station, but subsequently withdrawn through a letter dated 3rd September 2018 without any insurance claims. The company did not pursue any insurance claims. They also noted that the license of Mr. Lawe had expired in 2014, 4 years prior to the accident, and a further cost of 6,650 was incurred to repair the Nissan Almera. Management dereliction of duty. Dereliction of duty in ensuring that the license of Mr. Lawe was renewed before he was allowed to ride the company's motorbike resulted in his anomaly. Why are you not talking about the driver himself or the rider himself, knowing that his license has expired since 2014? We recommended to management to ensure that both the head of transport, as at the time of the incident, Mr. Lawe, be made to refund the amounts and the lost insurance claim to the company. No, after the insurance claim to the company, we won't talk about that. But the refund of the costs incurred, we can talk about that. Has he refunded the money?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, he has agreed that his benefits be used to defray the money. So it's been, the management are taking steps to use the benefit to defray of this cost.
Which kind of benefit?
Mr. Chairman, our riders have workman compensation when they are involved in an accident, and this one in particular was quite a serious accident. The rider had to stay home for over, I think, 9 to 12 months before he resumed, more than 1 year before he resumed. And there's a workman compensation normally when a rider has an issue in the course of duty, but because of this issue, he is losing out on that workman's compensation, and we are using part of that to also pay off this debt.
Has the compensation been computed? Will it be sufficient to pay for this?
Mr. Chairman, it will be sufficient to pay for it.
Okay, so that should be done quickly. What are you waiting for? Determine that if it's sufficient, pay this amount. If there is any balance, you give it to him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But you have a formula or procedure to follow to determine that. Don't go and do anything to calculate a bigger money to cover this. So make sure that you use the formula. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. That will be all for Ghana Post Company Limited. You are discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ministry of Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture.
I swear by the Almighty God, that the evidence I shall give before this committee, touching the matter in issue, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister for Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture, the Chief Director and other directors. We apologize for keeping you waiting for long. But we can assure you that we'll be done soon. We'll start with Dubois Center. Dubois Center. And kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Mark Okrekumante.
Please, my name is Janet Nenyame, National Commission on Culture.
I'm Ruben Kwasi Kodefield, Acting Director at Dubois Center.
Honorable Chair, my name is John Yao Agbeko, Chief Director, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Honorable Chair, my name is Edward Kwao, Acting Director, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
So, Dubois Center, paragraph 1723, Honorable Aka.
Thank you, Chairman. In the third paragraph, Dubois Center collected revenue to the tune of 109,179. And you delayed in depositing the monies into the bank as against the law. Have you done the needful?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Executive Director of Dubois Center will handle this.
Honorable Chairman, management noted this recommendation. I was not there at the time. I took office in 2019, and we found it prudent, since the accountant at the time is on retirement. We thought it wise to ensure that the current administration does the right thing. So what we did was that we oriented the new accountant as to all the consequences there are in delay in lodging of the collected revenue. And we can assure you that the current accountant is on point, doing the right thing. Auditors, we have submitted all the receipts to the auditors. Of course, they confirm that we are doing the right thing. As for what transpired in the past, we have no control over it. Thank you.
You answered the second question that I was going to ask you, that going forward, what have you been doing? You have answered that. I will confirm from the auditors. But still, go to the first question. You didn't answer the question I asked you. The question I asked, this was money which was not deposited. So I want to know whether that money had been deposited.
No, it was a delay in deposits, not deposited. It was just a delay. Consequently,
so please answer the question.
Yeah, the money was paid, but I think there was a delay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Auditors, say going forward, they have never delayed in depositing the money into the accounts. Is that true?
Honorable Chair, after the observation, subsequently, management has ensured that any amount corrected are paid promptly into the accounts. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Let's move to paragraph 1728. Honorable Phillips. Pasua.
Thank you, Chairman. The said infraction has to do with non-submission of 2015 and 2016 financial statements. And the center chairman could not submit financial statement for 2015 and 2016 financial years. Drafts were presented for review, but the final copies were not submitted. I want to know what was the reason for not submitting these financial statements.
Honorable Chair, the second response is as at the first one. I was not there, and I could not explain why the statements were not submitted. When I came, I ensured that all the previous one from 2017 to 2021 was done and submitted to the Auditor General, and they have certified that they were done and done properly. Thank you.
You like, I was not there, I was not there. You came to inherit it. So the records which were available to you is what you have to respond to it. So, like you said, for the first one, necessary steps have been taken to ensure that the right thing is done. All right. Chairman, I think auditors should confirm, and then we'll move forward.
Honorable Chair, since 2017 to 2021 financial statement has been submitted and audited. Thank you.
Chairman.
All right, thank you. So that will be all for Dubois Center. Let's have a Kwame Nkrumah Memorial PAC. And Honorable Sam George, paragraph 1733.
Thank you very much, Chairman. 1733 has to deal with the operational results. The total income of the PAC increased by some 30.3%, but the auditors found that this increase in 2018 from on the 2017 one was as a result of a GOG subvention. What led to the GOG subvention? The increase in GOG subvention, what led to it?
Honorable Chair, the Chief Director of the Ministry will take this.
Honorable Chair, what's it? I don't know. No.
What did you have an increase in staff? Or what led to, why would your GOG subvention is most likely for compensation and largely for compensation. So how did it jump by almost 182,000? In fact, in 2017, the total GOG subvention was 212,000. Then the increase in the next year was 182,000. So the increase was almost 80% of the previous year. What accounted for that? That's just what I want to have a fair understanding of. Yeah, 85.7%.
I don't know.
Chairman, he's been honest. He doesn't know. So, do you have the head of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park here? The head of the park is here. Honorable Minister, please turn your microphone off. Thank you. Yes, are you the head of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park?
The acting director of the park now.
You're the acting director of the park. Can you explain why this jump happened?
I am not too familiar with this particular aspect, so I can't really respond to it.
Chairman, if they do not have a knowledge on that, do I have permission to proceed to 1737? 1737 just talks about their financial position, the fact that their current assets also increased by 31%. But I think it's linked with the subvention issue. So, I mean, clearly, Chairman, should I proceed into the management issues? Okay. Okay. Chairman, they don't have answers to my question, so I rest.
They are not actually prepared for that. Most of the time, you only look at your management issues. As a board or corporate body or a company, your financial statement is prepared. We interrogate it. So in future, when we call you, don't limit yourself to only the management issues. Try to look at the table, especially the accountants. Look at the financial statement and try to know reasons behind the figures. Because definitely when you come here, we'll ask you. So for now, let's move to the next one. Let's move to, yes.
You call as a member of the Trade and Tourism Committee. I want to find out. I know that there's some renovation works going on. When did it start? Because once there's renovation going on and that government will have to bring in money, it is possible that it could increase your GOG figures. So,
Honorable Chair, the renovations have just started and it's on the Ghana Tourism Development Project. We are talking about 2019 audit. I don't know whether it's goods and services from the Ministry of Finance. I don't know.
Let's move forward. Paragraph 1739, Honorable Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your issue here has to do with your park that you rented to Bank of Ghana as a car park without written agreement. The query is that, I mean, if there's no any document, a legal document, there's a likelihood that they can default paying the rent to your organization. And you were advised to try and then take steps to prepare an agreement. Have you done that?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just about the time we were about putting that together was around the same time that we had to break to give Kwame Nkrumah Park a facelift. And so we think it will be prudent to have that done after the facelift. Thank you.
Have you completed the facelift? Because we are talking of 4 years ago. This query was 2019. Have you completed the facelift?
No, Honorable Chair. Give us maximum in the next 3 months, thereabout. We should be close to that.
Even though we're looking at your finance, you can see that the money event there is not all that much. I don't know. Is that the case? The reason why you've not been able to complete the facelift?
We are actually not using IGF to do the renovation. It's the kind of renovation we're doing is way bigger than what we earn because we want to increase income. And so this came from the World Bank Development Project.
Chairman, they say the park is under rehabilitation. They are trying to complete that before they will sign the memorandum of understanding of Bank of Ghana for the backing of their cars.
But do they pay for the use of the park currently?
No, please.
So they are just using it for free?
At the moment, no one is using it because.
No one is, but in the past?
In the past, yes.
Free for all. Free for all?
No.
But in the past? Where is the place located?
Opposite the High Court.
Opposite?
Opposite the High Court. Yes. Yes.
Opposite the High Court.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Or Supreme Court, High Court. Yes, opposite Supreme Court. I think Supreme Court.
Oh, okay. I've seen it. The Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park there. Yes. Wow. So Bank of Ghana staff park there.
Yes.
Lawyers to park there. Should have a way of generating a lot of revenue there.
Yeah, that is why we want to finish the facelifts because if you had signed earlier on and you wait till you go to the renovation, values could change after renovation. So we want to finish so that we can get the right value for the charges.
Chairman, I noted that there's a man quite heavily built that sits under the tree with a stick. So when you park and you want to exit, he extracts something from you and it goes into his private pocket. In fact, if you live here, if you drive there now, from here it's about 5 minutes to that place. Oh, it's not closed. I parked there at 8 p.m. and something was extracted from me. So no, but the point is that the point is that these revenues are leaking. It's going to a private man's pocket. He pretends he's the security man, not appointed by anybody. But imagine the number of vehicles that park there in a day and leave at close after about 5 p.m. till about 9 p.m. He takes something from nearly everyone. And he's not accountable to anybody. He pretends he's the security. So if you pay attention, something can be coming to you through there. Even in the state of the way it is now, even though it's not properly organized.
Now, Honorable Roxanne, he's not actually charging.
Yes.
But you give to him as a gift.
Yes.
He's not charging you.
Chairman, I would have agreed with you, but the man uses a stick to block your way. You see, It has moved beyond. It has moved beyond giving to now exacting. Yes.
He compelled you to give. Well, but if you refuse to give, he will definitely allow you to go, or he will block you forever.
The stick is there. You see that there's a stick blocking you away.
So we encourage you to work on that PAC. You can generate a lot of revenue from there. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you for the
people
feedback.
who come to the court, the staff, then the Bank of Ghana staff, all of them can park there, and then you make money. All right. So that'll be all for, no, there is one for National Center for National Culture, Sunyani, APAC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome. I'm affiliated to them somewhat based on my area of study. This one is a very straightforward matter. It has to do with unearned salaries, just about 9,000. And since we've been here for long, have you been able to recover the unearned salaries?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think I heard one of the auditors murmuring that it's been collected and it's been paid.
But you are to say, you shouldn't be saying what
which is an
the
endorsement,
auditor is saying unofficially.
Which is, okay, so officially, yes, it's been done.
Okay, auditor, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, the amount has been recovered.
Very well, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We have come to the end, but some judge has some public interest question for the minister.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, let me commend your ministry for the Beyond the Return and the Year of Return initiative. It has undoubtedly made Ghana a destination, a Christmas destination. But the question I want to ask is, we have heard figures bandied around, 1.5 billion, 1 billion as revenue that has come to Ghana from the tourism drive that is coming into the country. The problem is, players in the industry say that all of these international concerts, and in 2022 we had at least 3 international concerts, world-class international concerts here. Almost all the service providers are from Nigeria or outside of Ghana. And so, are we doing a Beyond the Return for Ghanaians to buy tickets to enrich foreign service providers? Or does the ministry have a plan of making sure that we monetize this Beyond the Return program and build our own local capacity so that the money that is generated, that goes to service providers, stays in Ghana and improves our industry?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This perception is partly true, and the other side of it is that we have people who have the capacity to also do some of these jobs. We have people like Frank Kwache doing sound, people who do trust, people who do LED screen, and all of that. I think that some of them had to come from some other countries because we lack some of the technology. So some came from South Africa, some came from Nigeria. The good side about some of these things is that you end up learning from the experts when they come in. Instead of traveling outside to go and learn on your own, some of them come in and you can tap from them. And so they have their good side and bad sides. They've started well, especially between Ghana and Nigeria. Whether we like it or not, the arts industry is driving the Africa Continental Free Trade Area agenda. We've always collaborated through film and then music. And so it is good, but I agree with you that we can do more, so most of the monies will stay in Ghana. We need to do a lot more training for our people in the arts. Some of the challenges that we've had over the years were some, like the legal framework. Thank God, courtesy of Parliament, we have it now. The education must go on. It's an industry that people often do not have formal training before they come in. And thank God we are going to have the Creative Arts School very soon, where you can get the fundamentals right. And so for now, we would continue to collaborate with others until we become masters on our own to carry our cross. It's not as bad as it looks.
Chairman, I'm grateful for this opportunity, but just as the minister has stated, will the ministry look, and I'm glad you mentioned the likes of Kwache, we've got Silicon House and their productions, their capacity, Black City Sounds, we've got them. But would you decide as a ministry, by way of government policy, to help build even better the capacity and then make it a requirement for international concert organizers to use Ghanaian expertise as the first choice, except it is unavailable in the country, so that it is mandatory? And as you spoke about the Creative Arts School, I want to remind you of your president's promise 6 years ago to build recording studios in all the regions. The creative arts are still waiting for it. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think you brought on board some good ideas this afternoon. We will take them in good faith and we'll work on them. But amphitheaters will soon be seen. Yeah.
Chairman, how soon? How soon? What timelines?
What is the number of that agenda? I know we have agenda 111. This one is agenda what?
Maybe you can do 555.
After the haircut.
All right. So that'll be all for Ministry of Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture. You are discharged. So we want to thank you for coming and waiting till this time. You are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, we have come to the end. We have come to the end of today's public hearing. Tomorrow we are expecting Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, Ministry of Trade and Industry, and Ministry of Information. They are the ones we are expecting tomorrow. So I want to thank you very much for waiting and working up to this time. It's few minutes to 6 p.m. The meeting is adjourned to tomorrow at 9:30 in the forenoon.
Voice of Ghana.
Now, oh, me. Obek Hanukre. Susu sang pine, dear one to Nambia, a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian said the shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange rate in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy? Download to Lemonade Finance.